Wait a minute, I can't hear anything. What in the actual hell? Can you hear me, AJ?
Yes, I
Let
can
me
hear you.
turn this thing up, make sure it's working right. Here we go. I can hear myself now. I can also see myself for some reason. Why are they working on these cameras in here? I look like a ghost. I had a news set at my first television station I worked at as a kid, and the white people hated it because we looked like ghosts. It washed us out, and the black people hated it because it just made a silhouette. And me and the black female anchor, we were best friends at the time. I mean, we just really loved working together. And we went on protest. We said we were never going to walk on that set till they painted it. But we didn't want to get fired, so we did it anyway. Battleship gray is not the best color, but that's what we got here.
Yeah. It's not, but hey, it is what it is.
Yep. All right. Good to have y'all back here on a Monday as we get cranked up. Thanks to everybody. Let me just start. We'll start slow today. The news is not overbearing, but we do have some interesting stuff to get into. We had a great time. How long did you hang out on Friday night at Siluria? That was a good time.
It definitely was. I think I left about like 9, a little after 9, because I had to come up here and finish some stuff for the weekend, and so it was kind of crunch time.
Yeah, people were very, very generous. We raised a lot of toys, and I kept a card. I had lost this card, and some kind person put this on my windshield. We had a nice listener to walk up right in the middle of the show and hand me this bag. Do you remember that? It was in
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were giving me Cracker Barrel. It was in a Cracker Barrel bag. I thought, why'd somebody bring me Cracker Barrel? Well, he just walked off and he handed it to AJ, and AJ took care of it because I couldn't stop what I was doing. And we were doing the show. And I never saw him again. But this nice couple, I think it was JC and Martha, because they left me a card with their name on it, made me the nicest coconut cake. And I didn't give you any of it, AJ. I just took it.
Yeah, you took it and didn't even tell a brother.
Took
but
it
that's
home. And I told those folks there they could have some. I was going to cut it up and pass it around, but everybody was so busy doing their thing. So, yeah, thank you to JC and Martha for that fine cake. She said, "This is not a dry one." Somebody must have made a comment about dry coconut cake. I think we did when we had Marty Duncan on talking about food. All right, so let's kind of get cranked up. I call it taking my foot off the gas, where I'm not coming in here 100 miles an hour with all these screaming headlines. We do have some really fascinating stuff. The news cycle tends to slow down to this time of the year, and I'm cursing myself. There'll be inevitably an explosion of news. We still have the Epstein files due out in 11 days. Who knows what that's going to fetch? Today we had a big Supreme Court case where the left really lost. They were debating the president's ability. I know it sounds dry and boring, but they were debating the president's ability to fire the head of the Federal Trade Commission. And so this Ketanji Brown Jackson, who has, I'm just going to say, she has no business on the Supreme Court. She doesn't understand law, precedent, principle. It's amazing what she doesn't know. She just got manhandled by the others on the court. She makes absurd positions. The general argument is this: can the president fire anybody he wants? The leftists on the court were saying, no, independent bodies need to be independent. And properly, the Kavanaugh and the other justices on the right were saying, no, independent boards grow out of control. They need oversight. That's why we elect a president. There's no board that Congress could spin off, take a cabinet position, spin it off into an independent board that can't be touched by a president. That's how a country falls apart. We elect a president to manage these things and to hire and fire and shoot drug boats and anything else we put under the power of commander-in-chief and or the chief executive. And that is exactly what the court seems to be in favor of allowing, continuing actually. Some of the networks are spinning it as the court's going to expand the president's power. No, they're not. They're going to restore the president's power. Presidents have always had this kind of management authority. It's what the executive branch is there for. So not to get too academic about these legal cases, there'll be headlines on that eventually. I'm kind of starting with some of the most recent headlines this morning, and then we're going to work our way into the more important stuff. Trump is up live right now in yet another roundtable live give and take news conference. This time it's centered around the farm community and farmers. They've been struggling, especially through the tariff wars. And as we rebalance the economy, farmers are always facing headwinds. It's the weather, it's disease, it's bugs, it's everything. It's the banks, it's the equipment breaking, it's life for a farmer, and it's always been that way. And that's why we've slowly lost family farming to corporate farming because these giant corporations come in there and do it with slaves or whatever and machines. And so to restore the American farmer is, I think it's part of the fabric. It's not just a nostalgic notion. This is how we feed ourselves. This is how we maintain a proper supply chain of food that can be organic and closer to market and all these things that keep us alive. These people keep us alive. So today, Trump has them in focused on their needs. They announced a program just a little while ago in this meeting of $12 billion of the tariff money that we've raised through the tariff policies of the president will now go to these farmers to help them offset cost during, say, the soybean wars and all this stuff. So that was just announced a few minutes ago. We got plenty of that stuff to get into, too. Later in the show, let's flip back to straight old raw politics. Jasmine Crockett, the Democrats' Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm going to start calling her Marjorie Taylor Black. She dropped the ghetto routine. Have y'all noticed that? She sounds like an accountant again. This girl's well-educated, and she's way smarter than she's been acting. But now she wants to run statewide, so she's changed her whole gimmick. She is probably going to announce this afternoon that she is running for the United States Senate in the great state of Texas. She's going to run in Texas. This will be fun. I hope she does. I hope she wins their nomination. She will have a primary fight to get through. There will be, of course, a bunch of Republicans fighting it out on their side, too. A really heated Senate race over in Texas. But I pray to the funny gods, the comedy gods, the news gods, because we need news content on a regular basis, that this woman is the nominee in the state of Texas. She's supposed to announce this afternoon. I don't know that we'll go live to it, but it would be fun to watch. And if so, we'll watch it. I'm trying to just give y'all sort of a laundry list right now, and then we'll dig in a little bit more resolutely. Here's another story within the last hour or two. Alina Habba. Y'all remember her? Also another attention person who loves to get on TV, who found fame during one of Trump's trials as one of his attorney/spokespeople. She had been nominated as a U.S. attorney in New Jersey, but the court system there, they got this odd system where the federal judges can keep voting, approving. Somehow they get approval over these interim appointments, and none of them have approved. They keep voting her out. Well, now she has stepped down. She has stepped back from the job. They're going to make her an advisor. They'll find somewhere to put her in the administration, but these fights will take forever. They've gotten protracted, and this is a good move. I don't care about Habba or whether she's got a job or not. I do care about whether cases are being made, and Trump has a competent attorney in that position. New Jersey is at the center of a lot of things that need to be considered, and so is the case all over the country in certain districts. So that is something. If there's anything new on that, we'll get into that too. Man, I'm sitting here zoned out going, is it already Monday?
It's Monday.
Are you gold bricking in your mind yet for Christmas?
No, not yet. Not yet.
I'm completely.
No.
I'm mentally, I'm not sure I'll be 100% till January.
Yeah. Well, I probably won't start gold bricking until like next week. Then I'm like, okay, yeah.
That's an old school phrase where you're just kind of nowadays.
I'm here, but I'm not here.
They call it dialing it in.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
By the way, one of the cats at the house sounds like a fax machine when he purrs. I'm just saying. He sounds like dial-up. He's got this broken purr. I heard him the other day. I was like, you sound like a dial-up. You sound like AOL.
Honey, when do we get a fax machine?
Anyway, I don't know why I scrolled myself with all that. Yeah, so I think it's the weather too, AJ. Can we just see the sun?
Yeah.
I mean, just a little sun?
Yeah. Like, I've been outside, like, since Friday. It feels like, we had the Christmas extravaganza. Then I was up in Jasper, and then I was downtown Birmingham, and I was outside for like hours. In the moment, you don't really feel it until you get done and you start talking, and your voice starts getting a little raspy, and then you're like, "Oh, I sound pretty good right now." Yeah, but then you realize what comes with that.
I got a cold. It's crud's on the way. You turn into I go from Barry White to Bill Clinton to no voice.
Right.
That's how it works.
I'm like, baby, if you want to hear something really sexy from me,
call me now. Yeah, girl. And then 3 days later, I'm like, yeah, girl. Hey, I see you there.
I sound like I went through puberty again.
And it's like, I can't talk. Yeah, it's the weather, man. It's on everybody. Yeah, I was looking at the daily forecast for the rest of the week. We do have sunshine returning next, actually tomorrow. The gloomy stuff will be gone for a while. No real chance of rain. While I'm doing weather, the forecasters locally had us getting blasted on Saturday with lows in the teens, just a sharp, almost polar vortex style freeze coming at Birmingham and northern Alabama. And now they backed off of it. The deep freeze, they think the plunge from the poles isn't going to make it this far south. And so we may be out of the woods for that kind of stuff because it was making me think through some preps. I've done the basic stuff, but not for a deep freeze, like draining all the water out of the RV and all that stuff. But anyway, they backed off that, and I'm kind of relieved. But I will be traveling. I get to go see my newest grandbaby this Friday.
Nice.
So I'm super excited.
Nice.
And it's going to be really cold up there in the city.
Yeah.
But I'll be indoors snuggling with the new kid. So I'll be getting to know each other. Starting trouble.
Right. Tell them, boy or girl?
Boy.
Oh, wow.
I got 3 of them now. 3 boys and 2 girls.
Man, that's awesome,
It's
man.
gonna be fun.
It's gonna be good.
I'll teach them how to cuss.
Well, one of them's gonna be like, man, look, that's Leland's grandbaby right there.
Yeah, this one already has no hope. I think he looks like me. He looks a little bit like Pops. Just saying.
Now, let me ask you, because I never asked, and I know we got to go to break here pretty soon, but do you have a grandpa name?
Pops. Yeah.
Just Pops?
The oldest one, yeah, I know it sounds just the oldest one. I gave him options.
Right.
We waited for him to talk. They usually get the privilege.
Yeah.
We made it part of the show content for a while. I mean,
Yeah.
and somewhere it just started happening, and I just said, okay, I can deal with that.
Okay.
I mean, I had Grandmaster Flash in there for a while.
Yeah, that's too much.
Like an old rapper name.
Yeah.
But they thought that was too many syllables.
Yeah.
And so Pops just came out of him one day. He said it with an S, which I thought was cute.
Pops.
And here I am, Pops now.
Okay.
Yep.
Now what
Keeps it simple.
what does the baby granddaughter call you? Should she call you Pops too, or
She calls me Prince King Pops. Yeah. I'm her
is that what you told her?
gray bearded hero. No, she's adorable. The oldest one just owns me, man. She totally owns me. I put that picture up with, she was doing a little ballet.
Yeah.
I've never had to go to ballet. And so it was my first little ballet, and it was her first little ballet, and we had a moment.
Nice.
She came out that hallway off that stage and yelled my name across the room. I was like, oh yeah. There were other grandparents there as well.
Yeah.
That did not get acknowledged.
Yeah.
So I felt superior.
Yes.
To everybody.
I am the king of all the grandpas.
I knew I was the favorite. Come here, girl. Here's some flowers. We win. Don't worry about hurting their feelings. They'll get over it. They're adults. It's different. Granddaughters are different for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Here we go. Trump's still talking live. AJ, you can hear him in there. I'm talking. You're listening. So tell me if he goes to Q&A.
Well, he's taking questions now.
Is he? Why don't we do the break? I can listen to some of it during the break. Let's see where it's going. Because he's got his roundtable, and these things can always spin out into headlines, and so we don't want to ignore it. But we'll try to monitor that too. And we've got other sort of headliney kind of stuff to dig into today too. Your phone calls as well here on a Monday before Christmas. Leland Live, Talk 99.5. Did you see me in here primping, AJ?
I did.
We're testing out this video equipment. I was like, man, I can move this boom arm and make that work. And I think I got it working.
Yeah.
It's all in the way.
But you were so focused too. You were like,
oh yeah,
looking at the different angles, trying to say like, does the light need to hit me right here?
Oh yeah, I got to get it all figured out. Every host will be different about their diva needs. We're turning into a little fish tank here. There's nothing like. Do you ever just watch fish swim in a fish tank?
Yes.
To me, that's the best comparison of watching somebody do a radio show.
Yeah.
There is nothing going on in a radio studio. It's just boring.
Yeah, because like during break, you just like reading.
Oh yeah, rubbing my eyes, blowing my nose, taking a pee break, stretching, just trying to. But we go to a little graphic, thank God, during the breaks.
Yeah.
That's my me time.
Yeah.
That's my downtime
Yeah.
in the middle of the show.
Because I used to watch like some people that do the streaming and then they just keep it rolling.
Yeah.
And they're like they're eating.
Oh, it's just terrible.
Rock, paper,
nobody
scissors,
wants to watch that.
Taking a quick nap.
It's like I feel like I'm on a security cam in a waiting room at a prison, sponsored by Talk 99.5. We're like the sponsors of the prison waiting room. You're just sitting here waiting on your moment. All right, look, Hueytown Pawn, man. Tommy just reached out. He was there Friday night. It was good to hang out with him. At one point, AJ, I was standing there with like half my sponsors were all like we were just all hanging out together. It was Ox Foundation. I mean, it was Eric Crocker was there. We just had everybody. I had Greg from Storm Restoration was there. Alan showed up with his family. He came by. And we were just all kind of standing there in a little huddle for a minute. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was
good
cool
to see our folks, man. They're always our sponsors are so supportive. And Tommy and I got to chat a little bit. It kind of got loud in there, but he was telling me he was going to hit me today with some fresh deals between now and Christmas. And here's one of them. They just he's always throwing new stuff in there to get y'all to come over and see him at Hueytown Pawn. Right now, he just said they're going to knock another 10% off the new and used hunting rifles and the Vortex scopes. They've got that's going to include the Ruger Generation 2. The Browning X-Bolt and A-Bolt, and Savage and Stevens firearms. So and they've got an incredible pre-owned inventory because they are a pawn shop. They originally started as a pawn facility to buy that stuff, but then they got into selling new lines of equipment and really gunsmithing, and then the gun counter grew and people know it more as a gun store nowadays. But, y'all go take advantage of that. I think he still has a couple of those Winchester safes available. They had those at $499.99 last week, 36 gun safes. Man, the season is on us. And if you got somebody that you want to take hunting and they're not all rigged out, here's a chance to save some money and get a nice hunting rig or add to your collection, as we always want to do at Hueytown Pawn. If y'all haven't been there and seen them through the eyes of a gun store and gotten to know Tommy, and again, because they are resourceful and they're always looking for bulk buys and discounts and being able to do your work for you, y'all go by and see them. And then you got a partner in the gun business too to do everything. AR platforms available. It's a full-fledged line of stuff there. Lots of ammo in stock. And again, I've been emphasizing it since the beginning. They got more sound suppressors than I think anybody around, probably anybody in Alabama. And that was by design. They went out and bought them up knowing that it was going to be a popular item, and it has been. So much so that the factories have been stripped. It's hard to find them right now. And so look over there at Hueytown Pawn and get all of it in one trip. Hueytown Pawn, Brook Lane Drive. Y'all go see Tommy and Adam and all of them. They will fix you up right over there in Hueytown. All right, the president's got that look on his face like he's entertaining absurd questions. Let's take a quick peek into this news conference real quick. That was a roundtable that turned into a news conference. Here's the White House.
It's the insurance companies. I want the people to get the money and go out and buy their own health care. And everybody wants that, right? Okay.
When Mr. President's putting that bill on the floor, sir.
Do you have any reaction on the fine that was imposed to X by the European
For what?
Union? To X, to the platform X, the fine that the
That
European
was
Union
pretty
imposed?
amazing. You're talking about, is that European Union or is it, who did that? European Union or
Yeah, the
UK?
European Commission.
Whoa, that's a nasty one.
Do
I
you
don't
consider it an
know.
attack?
Elon has not called me to ask for help in that one. But no, that's a tough thing. I don't think it's right. No, I don't think it's right. I don't see, how they can do that. No, I'll speak about it later. I'm going to get a full report on it. Look, Europe has to be very careful. They're doing a lot of things. We want to keep Europe Europe. Europe is going in some bad directions. It's very bad for the people. We don't want Europe to change so much. They're going in some very bad directions. That was a big thing.
You directed a review of the childhood vaccine schedule, possibly to match what is on par with peer nations in Europe. Would you support ending federal mandates and just making those recommendations for schools?
You're gonna have to say it again.
As far as the vaccine
Louder.
as far as the vaccine schedule for children, would you support ending the federal mandates and making it optional for
Well,
schools?
we're looking at a lot of things having to do with vaccines and with the different. I think we take like 88 different shots all wrapped up in one big glass of stuff like that. And we're going to be reducing it very substantially.
Do you support the Paramount
It'll be safe,
bid, Mr. President?
but we're going to be reducing it very
Do you
substantially.
support the Paramount bid for Warner Brothers that came
I don't
this
know enough
morning?
about it.
You spoke about Netflix last night, saying you have concerns about them.
I know the companies very well. I know what they're doing, but I have to see what percentage of market they have. We have to see the Netflix percentage of market, Paramount, the percentage of market. I mean, none of them are particularly great friends of mine. You know, I want to do what's right. It's so very important to do what's
The
right.
Paramount deal is supported by Jared Kushner, Mr. President. Would that impact your decision?
If Paramount is, no, I don't know. I've never spoken to him about it. He's really trying to work on Gaza. I think his primary thing is Gaza.
If you're making house visits on Christmas Eve, as he suggested, does the beast need to be fitted with sleigh reels?
You want to answer that question?
Absolutely. We should put sleigh rails on the beast, yes.
Madam Secretary, do you support that?
Go ahead.
That Republican plan that you just talked about when it comes to health care, when do you expect Republicans to put
Oh,
that
we're
on?
looking at it very strongly, and we're also going to the Democrats and asking them to do it. The Democrats want to make the insurance companies rich. They're all paid off by the insurance companies. A tremendous amount of the insurance company funding goes to Democrats. Why don't you ask that question of the Democrats? Because I would love to do it. I'd love all of the money to go to the people. They go to the people. You know, I put that out 2 weeks ago. It became #1 viral. People love it. I want the money to go for healthcare, to go to the people and let the people buy their own healthcare through an account. They can buy their own healthcare. And everybody loves it, except for the Democrats. And you know why they don't? Because they're paid off by the insurance companies. Okay, what else?
Yeah.
All right, we'll do about right there, and I'll keep listening to it so we can keep our break schedule. Yeah, the death of Obamacare and what we replace it with is going to be one of the hottest debates, I think, in the new year. You can hear some of that already starting today. Man, we've got a lot to get into, and we'll go back to that if it's still going well. Right now, quick break, bottom of the hour, Lead 'em Live, Talk 99.5. All right, 234 Leland Live Talk 99.5. It was good to see Alan and his whole family last week for a live show there. And then, of course, they showed up at our event on Friday night. It was just nice to see everybody. What a wonderful place to do your Christmas shopping. And if you're looking in the way of gift giving, we had so many of our listeners that popped in just to say hello to us and to come by and see me on Thursday. Then they wound up buying something. They got to look in, that eye kind of wanders, and they saw the prices. Didn't you buy some extra stuff in there? AJ's been in there shopping. Don't want to surprise it. Don't want to give away any surprises or anything. But it is a wonderful place, no matter what your budget, because they've got things in a lot of ranges. Maybe you just want to get somebody a bracelet or a necklace or something along those lines. But fellas, if she has put up with you for a number of years, and I don't know what that number is, I guess that depends on how hard you are to put up with. Maybe time to upgrade that engagement setting, that original wedding setting. Everybody understands how that works. You get the upgrade, but you can keep the original diamond and repurpose it in another setting, and you still got all the sentimentality, but she gets to go blingity bling bling when she goes to the grocery store. But she deserves it. Just look in the mirror, fellas. She deserves it. Allen & Company will make that a reality for you. And here's the good part. Alan's going to do all the work right there in his shop. So that precious ring, while it's being upgraded, doesn't have to leave. Everything stays in his vault. They do the work right there, and that's true of all of their repairs, upgrades, redesigns. Go get to know them and get to know the whole Thompson family, and you'll have a place you'll go to time and time again for your purchases, for your maintenance, for your gift giving. It's Allen & Company this Christmas. They're right there on Highway 31 in Vestavia, Allen & Company. All right, so is Trump done? I don't see him on my monitors now. I think he's done taking questions.
They're done. They're done with that press conference.
Let me throw this story in there, and then I got to flip to the Minnesota scam outbreak thing that's just really amazing right now. When each development seems to be worse than the next thing, because we're getting sort of the granular detail on how this stuff was happening and how it's being ignored, and all the people I think a lot of people could go to prison over this. And look, let me just say this one more thought, then I'll go to this cruise ship story. It's okay with me that they bust the Somalis and deport them. But these Americans that facilitated this and also enriched themselves, the elected officials on down, every one of them need to go to prison. If we can't convict these people of this kind of thievery, then we've lost control in this country, which is why I think a lot of these folks from Somalia wind up settling there, because that's where the goods were. I don't blame them. That's where the money could be had. That's where the scams were going on. We'll get to that here in just a minute. But this popped up. This could be a new interesting story in the news cycle. Just saw it just now. A dude has died on a Royal Caribbean cruise. Now, we see stories like this all the time. People fall off boats. We had a murder last week. We believe it was a stepbrother, stepsister murder, domestic thing.
Yeah, it was a stepbrother who murdered his stepsister.
He's been accused. That was weird for a few days. Kid gets found under a bed. There are always these mysteries. And I guess anytime you put a population of people that big on a boat and put them together for that many days.
And alcohol.
Gonna be some crime, man. That's where the alcohol comes in. Have you seen this on the Royal Caribbean story? A dude died on a Royal Caribbean ship after his family and others say that the ship served him 33 drinks. Now, the question is, over what amount of time? Was it for the whole cruise or in one day? But anyway, this guy was 35 years old. His name is Michael Virgil. And there's a video of him having a meltdown on the ship. He got off on the wrong elevator. He was hammered. And he's headbutting the door, trying to kick a door. He's a big dude. They're trying to get control of him. And he got agitated. He was cursing at other cruise members because he was, he was loaded. There are others that say that they even tried to slip him a sedative at one point. But it went on to the point where they were trying to arrest him, basically, to intervene to get him under control because he was a threat to the other passengers. So they had to use pepper spray. And it says here they used a sedative on him called haloperidol. I don't know anything about sedatives. At the request of the captain, who, by the way, is the law out on the sea. And then he went into cardiopulmonary arrest after the pepper spraying and the administering of that drug, and he dead. He's dead. Lawsuit is an understatement. What a story.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it's kind of a tough thing because they have rules and regulations on the drink package that you have, right? So you're only limited to a certain amount of alcohol beverages.
So they don't do like you buy a drink package. They don't do unlimited anymore. You got like 10 a day or something like that.
Yeah, and they'll let you, they know how much alcohol. Now, the problem is that's on your drink package. Now, if you're there with other people,
yeah,
people gonna be, especially if you're having a good time. I've been on cruises where people sit there and just like this handleable fist, like here's a drink, here's a drink, here's a drink,
because it feels free to them. They're just treating everybody. Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's gonna be kind of tough to really do it wrong. I don't know. I can't really. I'm just speaking from my experience. The cruise lines have those guidelines to how many drinks you can actually have. Now, where he got those other drinks, if he's got served 33 drinks, where were his family members and saying, "Hey, bro, you need to slow down"?
Well, exactly. Whoever was on the boat with him and himself. Look, the first thing you lose when you start to get hammered like that is your judgment.
Yeah,
and it's what leads to people DUIs. What's lead to other arrests because you lose your judgment, and your judgment tells you this feels good. Give me some more.
No, my judgment starts making me feel guilty. Like, hey, you might need to slow down.
Not you personally. I'm the type person in my whole life I've been like this. I don't like to be out of control.
Yes, yeah, same here.
I don't like water skiing because I don't want to be pulled by the boat. I'll drive the boat. I don't want to be pulled by the boat. I want to be in control, and I don't like the feeling of being where you could, you're vulnerable like that. This dude was, and he'd become wrecked and dangerous. So, look, I'm still from the age of personal responsibility as people debate this, and I think we need more facts because there's no way – I don't think anybody could consume 33 actual drinks in a short amount of time. That might be for a longer period than it seems. 33 is still a lot. 33 is a lot for a 3-day cruise.
Yeah,
I mean, that's 10 a day.
But I mean, even if he did it like a day, 33 drinks a day, my liver would be hurting.
Yikes!
And my kidneys will be hurting right now.
And there's probably, I bet you're going to find out there's going to be a toxic combination of his personal health because he looks like a biggin. So he's probably personally had some issues already. You add that much alcohol to a sedative being administered and then getting sprayed in the face. And the stress level of fighting with the authorities and where he sent himself. And I hate to say it, but this reminds me of the dynamics, not the conviction and all that stuff. But it reminds me of the George Floyd situation, because George Floyd is, as much as people want to make of the cops being convicted, he did a lot of that to himself because he ingested that fentanyl and went into a rage when the cops got there. Then the cops have a job to do, and we see that all the time. That combination of trying to restrain somebody that's also loaded. We've had deaths on airplanes where they'll panic on an airplane and then the passengers have to jump in. There was a story like this about 4 years ago. Passengers jumped in, restrained the guy, tried to hold him down. There's not like necessarily, unless there's an air marshal. The crews are trained on restraint techniques, but sometimes it gets out of hand and the passengers want to get involved. This guy was being held on the floor and he died of a cardiac arrest. Well, the cardiac conditions may have already been there in his heart, but the stress of the situation sent him right down that path. I think this is going to become a talk about story, at least for a day or two, as it relates to culpability. And of course, this family they'll sue the pants off this cruise ship just because there's so many layers for them to go at the cruise ship. The number of drinks, the way they restrained him, the other stuff involved. And I don't know that jury's going to be very understanding. We're in a coarser, ridiculous culture nowadays. That's just cruise ships used to be an elegant thing to do, and now it's just trash.
Yeah,
they've
not all cruise lines, but yes, there
not
are
all
some.
of them, but it's getting trashier.
Yeah,
that's why I don't even. One reason is like you take the discount deal. I'm just saying. They'll hit you with a discount deal, $199.
Yeah.
You're gonna get on there with some discount people. You may be one of them. I don't know. Just know that you stuck on there with the discount folks. Chad is in Vestavia. What's up, Chad? Oh, really? Yeah. So even if it was a captain's order, some medically trained person might have known that pretty basic medical knowledge. Have you got somebody that's yeah, sure they do. Yeah. Good Lord. So yeah, if this guy had a pre-existing, which is possible, you add the drinks and then oh yeah. Yep. Mm. Well, thanks for the info, Chad. That all makes sense as to why they particularly mentioned that drug and that the captain gave the order. Thanks, man. We got such a well-versed audience in just about everything. Don't they? I'm under the presumption, I've always heard this, that every cruise ship has a jail cell.
Yes.
They have places they have to either put people just to detain them.
They got a jail cell and a place where if somebody does pass away to put the body.
Little morgue. They got a floating morgue, like a cooler.
Yep.
Put it in there with all the salads and stuff for the next night's dinner.
Just move that. Just move his arm over. You know.
Scoot that potato salad over. We got a dead one.
Yeah, yeah. Now and I'm reading this, and it's so sad because like he was there with his fiance and 7-year-old autistic son.
Oh,
according to the New York Post story, and I was reading about what you was talking about, and it seemed like it happened when he just got on the cruise ship. Like he was just getting on.
How did he get 33 drinks before he just got on?
So what ends up happening is that your room is typically not ready when you first get on.
By the way, AJ is a cruise expert. He's done a bunch of cruises. I've done like 2 in my life, and I never want to do it again.
So a lot of times your room is not ready when you get on a cruise, and so from what the story was, they just like the crew members kind of guided them to a bar area for them to sit and wait. I mean, look, and I ain't gonna lie, there are people as soon as you get on the ship,
they start getting
There are some people that go straight to the
like,
bar.
Woo! You know how they start off with "Woo!"
Yeah.
On the boat.
So, and I'm thinking it's like a combination of frustration because a lot of times you're gonna be frustrated when you first get on the cruise ship because a lot of things are not working like you think it's supposed to be working. Sometimes the crew is different. They'll switch out crew members depending on their contract. Or there's a lot of stuff going on, and like not only you are new to this whole environment, all the other folks that are on the cruise
everybody
ship,
you're on there with, and their attitudes,
they got attitudes as well too.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you just want to get in the room because depending if you've been driving or flying or whatever, you're tired. You just want to kind of unwind, decompress. And when the room is not ready, you ain't got no other place to go, and so they just said, "Hey, go to the bar," and the bar is open, and
they do that as a diversionary tactic, just to keep you happy.
Yes.
But this guy, you think he slammed 33 drinks before they could even get the boat off the dock? Good Lord.
I mean, that's a lot of drinks, but I mean, you're sitting there, and then it's such chaos. They just like, hey, here, just drink, and then people passing stuff around and drinking, and we don't know did he take something beforehand too. I know the nurses, the guy who said he was a nurse for 16 years said there's a lot of other combinations, but. I mean, we don't know, like we said, we don't know this guy's background or his history, but there's a lot of stuff going on in the story. And I hate it for the family because, I mean, you're going on vacation. That's supposed to be like that time where you're supposed to have fun and unwind and create memories. And now this is the memory they're going to remember is this family member no longer being here. So I hate that.
Dude, this is one more of those stories and you wonder why I like to go to like Wyoming and walk in the woods by myself.
Right.
This is it right here. To me, that's a vacation. Being around a bunch of morons that can't handle their drinks and acting like fools is not one of them.
But morons show up in many different places.
Ain't nothing but bears out there to worry about. I take my chance with the bears.
Well, I mean, but you got that moron that wants to say, "Ooh, I'm gonna take a selfie with this bear."
No, those are Japanese tourists. You got to watch. That's who you watch out for out west. They're everywhere. They're like locusts certain times of the year. Love them long time.
They show up every 7 years.
You'll be out there going, "Isn't God amazing?" I'm serious. You'll hear like a leaf, like a twig snap. You're like, could that be a bear? Ready to be still. Might be a moose. Ready to be quiet. That could be a moose. And then you start to hear them. There's always one with a speaker talking to the rest of them. They come in a group.
Right.
It's like something out of a movie. Like, and you're just sitting on your rock going,
"Oh,
man,
gosh.
damn, dude.
You sound just like it, too."
I was sitting here. I was just sitting here, man, me and nature and the Lord, and Then you just get your backpack and go somewhere else. Then you sit down and you go, well, they're over there now. Then it happens again.
Oh, my goodness.
Twig snap. Oh, Toya, my freaking Indians, man. I mean, they're all over. I'm just going to tell you, they're all over Yellowstone. They should rename Yellowstone to Yellowstone and just get it over with in the summer. There ain't no people from the TV show with cowboy hats walking up being cool. It is half of Asian.
Oh, my gosh.
Bears, bunch of buffalo come across the road. Oh!
They want to get out the car.
Oh, yeah, they out the car.
and
Oh,
take
take
a picture.
You take a picture.
And everybody's like, do not go close to him. That is a dangerous
I know
animal.
some pica English. Take my picture. They take a lot of damn pictures too, man. I know they make fun of us. I'm doing it because when we go over there, I'm sure there's a Japanese redneck right now on his local talk show making fun of Americans.
Yeah.
And that's okay with me. we would be in their country at this point. That's why they had that scene in the show Yellowstone where there's a bunch of Japanese tourists or Chinese tourists.
I saw that one.
They wandered onto some land. That guy said, "We don't do that here. Get off my land." That's exactly why they did that. It's always in the summer too, man. They got enough sense to stay out of there in the cold. So do we, I guess.
For the most part.
Yeah. Lanius Furniture Company bringing you the show tonight. LAUNIUS, LaniusFurnitureCompany.com. Y'all, I'm telling you, they've got the selection and they've got everything you need for your home to get you outfitted inside, outside. I know we're all thinking, outside? Are you crazy? No, we sit outside and do the fire pit thing. We do the outdoor furniture line. The Adirondack chairs to make it comfortable and you don't have to worry about them. They can sit there season after season. With mine, I just spray them off with a pressure washer once in a while and they look great. Such durable quality products throughout the store. They buy from the major manufacturers you're going to know and trust. The deals are always solid. They don't really run their store on crazy discounts and all that, but the value is there. Once you compare the value for the price and then the delivery and the help that they give you in the design departments, you can design your own furniture there. You can do anything you want. They'll pull it together for you. They're very resourceful. And 91 years in business, can't beat that. John and Reggie and the whole team. Lanius Furniture Company in Kimberly. It's a superstore in the middle of nowhere in Kimberly, Alabama, right up the road. LaniusFurnitureCompany.com. If you know what the song was actually about, you might not have played it just now, but keep going.
I know what it's about.
So I got to wait on the hook now. That's okay. Good Lord, how long does it take to get to the chorus on this song?
Oh, here come a buffalo. Yeah, American buffalo. Everybody walk this way. American buffalo. Do not touch a buffalo. He will kill you. Like Godzilla. Oh, everybody take picture now. Over here. Move, American, move. I tell you to take picture. Move.
That's the damn truth. There's always a guide, and they're like teenage Americans. Here we go. I skipped the whole course. They're like American teenagers, man. They don't even see you. They don't even know you're there. They'll walk right through you.
Right.
It's true. Other tourists are what make me not want to be a tourist. And the thing is, you're snotty. Like when you're the tourist, but you don't want to be one of them. But everybody knows.
Yeah.
Even in Europe, you can't blend in. They know you're. They know you're an American.
Yeah, because you're taking pictures of everything.
And, of course, I take my wife with me, and then she's like, hey, y'all. Yep, there goes the blending in. You're from South. Bless your heart. Y'all, All-American Metals, man, let's talk about getting a building built. A lot of you have your projects. I know this because ever since All-American came on the show, people still back channel with me and go, Tell me how you did this and tell me a little bit more. I'm telling you the easiest thing to do, and I'm happy to help, but just reach out to them. Even if you're just in the thinking about it stage and you have no idea what the budget is, you're really maybe not even sure how big a building you should build because sometimes it's a little hard to know. I think I underestimated mine a little bit. I'm a dude, so I needed enough room to get the RV in there, and I left enough space, but I kind of wish I'd made it a little bit differently here than there. I did mine not with All-American, and man, it was a pain in the butt. Took way longer. The costs got out of control because I wasn't managed properly. All-American will help you from the beginning, from concept to whether your site lays out, help you figure out what you really need based on your needs, get those plans done, stamped engineered plans that are actually functional when it comes to getting an appraisal or getting your approvals or getting your financing or any of that stuff. And then they'll put the building together for you. They're going to make all the parts. They're in control of the whole supply chain. So it's all going to fit. It's going to be right. If something is wrong, they just make another part and get it out there to you. Bring it to you on their trucks, even help you get lined up with a contractor. It's All-American Metals. All-American Metals. Y'all reach out to them at aa-metal.com. Phone number's there. Let them get to work with you. Just start with a conversation and see where it goes. I give anything. Listen, they are quicker on their turnaround of both the designs and the buildings, and it's custom, and their price is better. They're going to beat their competitors on price. aa-metal.com, aa-metal.com. Let's see if we can get Randy and Gaston in here real quick. What's up, Randy?
Good afternoon, sir.
Hey, man.
We was talking about a while ago, the tourists looking at bears and such. Did you see the video of the bears in downtown Gatlinburg after a parade the other day?
No, I've seen them every now and then. What was happening?
Right down through the middle of the street, and there's people lining both streets. Good sized fella, too.
Good Lord. Yeah.
One of the last places I want to be.
Yeah, they're everywhere. We see them a lot down on the coast. On the coast, there are a lot of black bears in the woods, right along the Florida coast. There's a lot of natural area where they hang out. They'll be getting in the trash. Oh yeah, they're everywhere. Hey, it's their world, squirrel.
So I had told my wife, I saw a bear. There's no bears in Etowah County. I said, yes, there is. I
Yeah, there are. Yep.
2 or 3 days later, there was a picture in the Gadsden newspaper of a bear on the front porch of a house, not 200 yards from where we used to live.
Look out, Randy. All right, man. Top of the hour, 1819 News. Here we go.
Check 1 2 1 2. Hey, what's going on? This is AJ. You know, when it's cold outside, I want the month of May in my spot, and I don't want to do that. Hey, what's going on? This is AJ. You know, in Birmingham, we don't just get cold, we get confused. We got 2 primary seasons, sweltering, and do we even peak above 45 today? Now, if your furnace breaks down, your house is going to become colder than the bottom of Vulcan's sandal, and you're going to be singing a very off-key Jingle Bells right next to Chili the Parental Penguin.
All right, y'all. 304 Leland Live, Talking Internet on 5 as we are getting a Monday almost completed today. The dreary weather starts to end tomorrow as we've got sunshine returning, a little bit warmer temperatures, and the cold blast that was on tap for this weekend. Apparently, they pulled that out of the forecast. It looks a lot better now for the weekend. Still down in the 20s, but not a teens. Maybe still some significant wind chills, but here we go. Toward Christmas, headlong toward Christmas. A lot of things in the news this hour. We'll start right at the top. And the newest announcement, it appears to be official. I don't know that she's had an announcement yet, but Jasmine Crockett. It was just confirmed on social media sites and whatnot, is running for the United States Senate in the state of Texas. The Lord is good. Is he not? I mean, people wonder. Sometimes people ask me, they're like, do you just have to stay up studying policy all the time and to be able to do the show for that long every day? I'm like, no, you just have to be able to observe charlatans being idiots. And I need those people. We need those people. I was saddened that Marjorie Taylor Greene appears to have dipped out of the limelight. One by one, we're starting to lose some of our most flamboyant idiots. But this woman has decided to take her idiocy to a bigger stage. And people that do what I do for a living are celebrating tonight. We've got show material for a good part of next year. Here's the deal. She got drawn out of her district. Basically, when they redistricted, that is a hard word to say, Texas, and Supreme Court upheld it last week, it locked in the fact that she can't get herself elected in a gerrymandered, race-oriented district that is drawn particularly for the Democrats. So she wants to stay on the stage. I don't think she has any choice but to run if she wants to continue to get attention. And she has, quote, built a brand, which all these attention-seeking people start to do nowadays. Rather than legislating and policy making, it's just brand building. And so we get it from both sides. Both parties have divas like this in the party. And so famously now she has dropped this ghetto act that she was trying to play to build her base and to appeal to her constituents in her district. And now she sounds like somebody from HR or the accounting department at the board meeting. So she's back to articulating the King's English and speaking eloquently, which she's always had the ability to do. She went to some of the finest schools. This young lady's smarter than she tries to come across. But again, it's all about branding and acting. We see it from Nancy Mace, who's now trying to run for governor. Marjorie Taylor Greene wanted to run statewide in the state of Georgia. Trump couldn't support it because the numbers came back and she would have gotten destroyed. So he told her, no, we can't support that. You're going to have to stay in the house. She got mad, and then she tried to burn Trump. Now she's a woman without a party. These people are always looking for their next position. Now, to be fair, everybody in politics is like this. Most everybody I ever ran into, they're always thinking about the next office or their next career move, and it dictates how they behave. Let me give you some examples. I'm going to riff on this for just a minute. Most Republican politicians of a certain stripe use that as a cue to stay out of trouble. It's the opposite situation. They don't want to be controversial. They just want to get reelected. They like the pay. They like having a staff. They want to keep moderate positions in case they were to try to run for something one day, and they don't want heat. It helps them in their fundraising if they're not being bomb throwers, right? And so that's why Republicans largely can be ineffective. They're a party full of those charlatans that don't have the spine or the courage of their convictions. And their model for staying elected is to keep your head down. We've got a few in the United States House of Representatives right here in our state. They're like that. You can't find them in between elections unless somebody puts them on a milk carton down at the Pig. But the new model in the age of social media is, especially with these young females, throw rocks, act stupid, dance on videos, call people names, trash talk everywhere you can, just be a juvenile and build your brand, get attention, get clicks, get likes, get followers, be an influencer, and then you have a shot at branding yourself in the next office. But then comes reality, and here's what I think for Jasmine Crockett. She's going to hit a straight wall in the state of Texas. I can't imagine the brand she's built, that dumb, inarticulate, poor English, F-bombs all over the place attitude is going to present well, because all that's on the record. All that brand building they've done is on the record. For example, Nancy Mace, not as trashy, but provocative in her own way. She'll pick fights with trannies and play the victim when she needs to. Anything to get attention. Wear a shirt so that everybody can look at her boobies. She'll do whatever she needs to do to get attention. She is hitting some tough times over in the state of South Carolina, getting traction. She's already had some staff members leave. I think she's difficult to work for. So the diva thing runs into reality when you're outside the House of Representatives. You can be in one of these drawn districts. In Mace's case, she represents the East Coast of South Carolina, hoity-toity beach communities in a heavily Republican district. She's kind of a lock, unless she got challenged by a big Republican. Marjorie Taylor Black, which is what I'm going to start calling Jasmine Crockett. She could pull that Jerry Springer stuff in the district she was representing the way it was drawn, and then they redraw it. And guess what? Whole personality changes. Now she wants to go statewide with that because she has no choice. Now, what's interesting is one of her fellow Democrats in the state of Texas, and I forget his name, he just bowed out of running for Senate. He was going to be the favorite Democrat. And the reason he bowed out, after fighting the redistricting, now he's wanting to run for Congress again in a different district.
Yeah, Colin Allred.
Allred, yeah, that's the guy. Real flamboyant, but more. I mean, he's more. I think he'd have a broader appeal to Democrats than Crockett. So you're in this weird dynamic where this guy now is taking the easier route rather than being a sacrificial lamb in a statewide race where Democrats are don't show up as well. They show up a little better than they do in Alabama. They can get 40+% in the state of Texas, and they want the state of Texas bad. They've run Beto, they've run all these other campaigns to try to knock off the Republicans statewide, and they've yet to be able to get critical mass. And with their party being a dumpster fire right now, I can't imagine this is the year to do it. Off your election, though, possibility. So at best, this young lady gets 40% if she wins the nomination. Now let's talk about that. So her chief opponent in the same day decides to bow out, get out of the way, clear the way for her so he can run for Congress. What's going on there? I think he's got a better shot at winning one of those redrawn districts, even though it's not drawn for a minority or a Democrat. It's just drawn in a different methodology. He's got a better shot at that than running statewide. Crockett needs the attention, so she's going to run just to get the attention, and she'll get it. But will she win the nomination? Her chief opponent right now is a state Senate member who's probably not well known statewide in the state of Texas, and the Democrats have a whole different way of processing this. Here's what it comes down to. Are they going to be strategic and nominate somebody that can win, that is moderate enough and doesn't have all this dirt and these sound bites that won't be a constant motivator for the Republicans to get out? Will they want to go for that and think that through, or will she just play to the base, get elected anyway, and then they wind up with a situation like we just saw in Tennessee, where you had a radical nut job leftist. Now, I would say this: Crockett's not a nut job. That's an act. She's not. She's very sharp. If you listen to her talk moderately, I always think if this young lady had pursued her career a different way and maintained her dignity at some point, she might have a shot at attracting moderates in the state of Texas. But she embraced the policy she embraced, said all the dumb things she said. That's all on the record. So the Democrats are facing a similar situation. A state where they might be somewhat competitive with the right candidate, but they picked the wrong candidate. Now, look, Republicans are capable of that too in some spots all over the country. But this will be fun, though. I mean, just for the entertainment value, because the media cannot resist her, at least so far. I'm also wondering when she tones it down, and trust old boy over here, she won't be insulting the governor of the state of Texas who's in a wheelchair, calling him Governor Hot Wheels, like she did before. Now that she's running for the state Senate, she'll tone it down and try to memory hole all that stuff and build on whatever base she's got there in Texas. And it'll be fun to see the polls. Let's flip to the Republican side of that state, because that state's going to get maximum attention in a Senate race. You got Cornyn, who the hardcore right hates this guy. He is a squish from the word go and needs to be gone. He's running against the current Attorney General, Ken Paxton, who's a bomb thrower, definitely on Team Trump, been in and out of scrapes himself. That's going to be a bloodbath. And there are other Republicans that have piled into that race. So the Republicans will come out bruised and beat up and probably drained of resources when they have this food fight. And then who knows how united they'll be on the other side of that. It may be what some of these Democrats are thinking, or at least the people that are supporting Crockett, and maybe what some of them are thinking too. It's like, wow, they're gonna form a circular firing squad, turn voters off, and it gives us an opening in an off year. And then they got to hope something crazy happens with Team Trump, and it affects the elections like typical off-year elections go against whoever's in the White House. So history is on their side in some ways. But this will be fun. The announcement just online just a little while ago, I think she's got something more formal to do later. It's usually not worth the attention, a race like this that's not our own. We've got our own Senate race to deal with as well. But it's for all the marbles in the Senate this time. The way the states line up, Republicans look to be very favorable to continue to control, and the redistricting madness has also played to their favor so far. But we're a long way from all that being settled, and we've still got a major Supreme Court case to be decided on race-based districting. It's going to be a long, I would dare say this, based on experience and conventional wisdom, okay, and all those of us who've been in organizational politics, you can throw all that out the window. I think your gut still guides you if you've ever been in the fight before. But we're in unconventional times. And until the field gets set and until these court cases are vetted out and we understand what are the districts going to be, what will the court say, who all will redraw, it's impossible to handicap the House races right now. You take into account the historic dynamics, but yet the improving economy. We're in a jump ball territory right now. That should not come for Republicans who feel like you've got the upper hand. The Democrats are in a meltdown. We've still got to get through an actual election. Now, speaking of that, one of the biggest scandals in the history of this country is the stuff coming out of Minnesota. And I've got a little bit of a breakdown on how it evolved. You're like, how did we get here? Where billions of dollars go right out the window and nobody cared, nobody was looking, even though warning signs have been going on at least since 2014. I've got some answers on that as the investigations continue, more frauds being discovered, more fingers being pointed. It is straight up money laundering, and we've got the deets coming up here in just a second. Burton Campers bringing you the show tonight, too. This is a family that's been in the business of helping people figure out how to get out there in the world and go camping for 50 years. I respect that, man, to hold the family business together like that, survive all the ups and downs and economies and trends in the industry. And they've held on long enough to see a huge uptrend in that industry with more and more resort-type locations being built. There's a huge investment opportunity right now for these kind of sites. That gives us more opportunities, more places to visit, nice places too. Some of the older campgrounds are, a bunch of gravel and a place to pull in between two trees, squeeze your camper in there. Nowadays, man, you got lazy rivers and community centers and activities and 4 or 5 pools, and you can take the whole family and everybody can spread out. We've stayed at a couple places. You never have to leave the facility unless you're there to see something specific. Lots of places like that within a day's drive, half a day's drive of Alabama, popping up all over the place. Burton Campers is ready to get you outfitted so you can take you and your crew out on the road and get out there too and make some memories and do some things. They've got a camper for every size budget and every size vehicle. Your vehicle has to match up with what you're pulling. I mean, if you're got to have a lot of go to pull some of these things and a lot of woe to stop some of these things. And they can get you matched up size and weight wise. And sometimes that also dictates budget and layout, design. There are a lot of decisions to make. They've got such a selection. Likely they've got one sitting on the lot right now that'll fit you. So get out there and let's go camping this fall and this winter at Burton Campers. 2 locations celebrating their 50th anniversary. Down in Calera in the traditional location off exit 231. Y'all probably seen them from the interstate. And then the new location that opened this year in Jasper near the hospital. Y'all go see them. BurtonCampers.com.
Make sure. Okay. Check 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2. Hey, what's going on? This is AJ, and in Birmingham, we don't just get cold, we get confused because our 2 primary seasons are sweltering and Hey, what's going on? This is AJ, and in Birmingham, we don't just get cold, we get confused because we got 2 primary seasons. One is sweltering. Hey, what's going on? This is AJ, and here in Birmingham, we don't have. Hey, what's going on? This is AJ. In Birmingham, we don't just get cold, we get confused because we got 2 primary seasons. One is sweltering, and the other one is, do we peak over 45 today? And if your furnace breaks down, your house is going to be colder than the bottom of Vulcan statue's sandals. Now, look, with that being said, you're going to be singing. Now, with that being said, to avoid that, Now, with that being said, to avoid becoming a frozen artifact, Chili wants you to go ahead and. Now, with that being said, with that being said, Chili. Now, with that being said, to avoid becoming a frozen artifact, Chili wants you to go ahead and join the Chili Club. It's an expert HVAC maintenance program with a cool twist.
Man, Alabama Gold Refinery is ready to outfit you if you want to do some gold or silver trading. One of our listeners was talking to me on Friday night. No, it was actually Thursday night over at Allen Company, saying that they've done very well with silver trading lately, even better than gold. We talk a lot about gold because it's up around 4,200. I think that's where it settled today. Even on a down day, it's staying above 4,200 for several days, which is pretty cool. But yeah, the quality's there, the values there. One, you've got intrinsic value. You can hold in your hand. It's going to be there and compete with the rest of the economy and inflation. But it's fun to do, especially that you can possess it, do so with anonymity, even take advantage of some of the tax laws that were created here in Alabama to incentivize you to diversify your portfolio. It's Alabama Gold Refinery over in Homewood, ready to help out if you want to do some of this trading. They'll buy scrap from you. I've said it several times here during the holiday season. Man, your whole Christmas wish list could be some old stuff in a jewelry box somewhere you haven't worn in years. With gold being at 4,200 an ounce, a couple of ounces of that, and you can walk out of there with some serious cash from AGR in Homewood, across from the Regions Bank. AlabamaGoldRefinery.com, AlabamaGoldRefinery.com. Well, the other big scandal that's still left over from last week, and we've still got the Epstein stuff and Supreme Court cases and a lot that could happen this month in the next few days. But this Somali immigrant scam of financial sort of money laundering from the taxpayers in the city of Minneapolis and particularly the whole state of Minnesota, it's the volume is growing by the day. We're now up to $8 billion in fraud. There were rackets going in almost every conceivable federal program: SBA loans, child nutrition and assistance, Medicaid programs. It goes on, and the fraud was rampant, obvious. There are warning signs that went back to 2014 in a hearing in their legislature. Some guy was listening to a long clip of him today, laying out everything that we're talking about now nationally. And the state officials in that state absolutely not only looked the other way, it's now widely believed they participated in it and took some of the money themselves, particularly Ilhan Omar, whose family and donors benefited from this corruption. So I was listening to somebody talk this weekend about how it started, the way they recognized they could get away with this stuff. It started there were some daycare facilities that were getting reimbursed for childcare. And the example that was given was, say they were billing the government for 60 kids that were enrolled, but only 30 kids really showed up for daycare on a regular basis. And they decided, well, we'll just go ahead and bill the government for the full 60. It ain't our fault they're not showing up. And then somebody realized they're not paying attention. So they started padding the rolls of all of these services with fake people until it got so big it was on an industrial scale by the thousands that they were creating fake individuals to get these funds. Now, there's also been a demand to overturn all of their voter rolls because it's widely believed a lot of the voter rolls in Minnesota are completely stacked with fake people, and they've also rigged elections in this same manner. So let's go back to some of the ideas about how the chain of events worked. Here's one person posted today about it. I kept some of these notes to be able to walk through it. So a Somali will come in. They teach each other how to set it up too. They come in fresh off the boat or plane or whatever, and they create a nonprofit. And then they register with the Secretary of State's office, and now they've got an official nonprofit. Nobody checks on citizenship or eligibility or whether the nonprofit's legit. Like a lot of Secretary of State's offices, they put the stamp on it, and you've got an official tax ID and a license and a business. Then they file to join up on the food assistance program. You're running a nonprofit, right? You're out there just doing the Lord's work or Allah's work in some cases. And then as soon as they are on the program, the day after, the next day, in some of these cases that are being looked at now, they're feeding 5,000 children a day out of nowhere. No one red flagged that. Saw it, went and investigated. So where'd they get 5,000 children overnight? They actually had computer programs. This was very sophisticated to create spreadsheets and use random name generators to come up with non-existent people. They literally would use AI technology and random name generation, come up with fake identities, fill them in the blanks, create the spreadsheet, and then file on behalf of the spreadsheet that didn't exist. And the money just came rolling in. they would send invoices without actually buying any food or no kids to feed at all. Sometimes they'd feed a handful of kids. One organization that said they fed 1.2 million meals served 60 meals in that time period, probably to their own families. Oh, it keeps going. So it wasn't just a few Somalis that were having a good time. Now we're understanding that some of the public officials that could have stopped it or interceded, like Tim Walz, the Attorney General, Ilhan Omar, and others who were repeatedly warned about this stuff, they were getting campaign contributions and in some cases, we believe, personal kickbacks from all of this stuff to look the other way. I mean, who's going to catch them? They got the keys and the jailhouse. They're in charge of investigating themselves. And now the whole thing is blown up on them, and the world's taking a look, and it is a national embarrassment. More on this later.
Hey, what's going on? This is AJ. You know, in Birmingham, we got 2 seasons. Hey, what's going on? This is AJ. You know, in Birmingham, we don't just get cold, we get confused because our 2 primary seasons is sweltering. And do we even peak over, Here we go. Hey, what's going on? This is AJ. You know, in Birmingham, we don't get cold, we get confused because Hey, what's going on? This is AJ. You know, in Birmingham, we don't get cold, we get confused because Hey, what's going on? This is AJ. You know, in Birmingham, we don't get confused, we get Hey, what's going on? This is AJ. You know, in Birmingham, we don't get cold, we get confused because our 2 primary seasons is sweltering and did it ever peak? Okay, come on. 1, 2, 3. Hey, what's going on? This is AJ. You know, in Birmingham, we don't get cold, we get confused. Our 2 primary seasons are sweltering and did it even peak over 40? Did it even peak above 45 today? Hey, what's going on? This is AJ. You know, in Birmingham, we don't get cold, we get confused because our 2 primary seasons is sweltering and did it even peak over? Oh gosh, we can even do this. Hey, what's going on? This is AJ. You know, in Birmingham, we don't get cold, we get confused because our 2 primary seasons is sweltering and did it even peak above 45 today. And if your furnace breaks down, your house is going to be colder than the bottom of Vulcan's sandal. You're going to be singing a sad off key of Jingle Bell Rocks right next to Chili the Pranto Penguin. To avoid that, go ahead and join the Chili Club and you'll get HVAC expert
Man, it is 3:35 Leland Live. Storm Restoration Roofing. Man, it was good to get to meet Greg's wife, and some of his crew came with him over to our event on Friday night. Greg Nelson's a great guy, great roofer. Been doing it for decades. He's into his third decade with now his whole family involved in the business. And I love that. I love everything about a generational family business. I'm telling you, you will never see a business that has heart like you will with that kind of setup, where one generation works hard to get it going, the other generation wants to carry the family name. They work hard. They work hard in all kind of disciplines. I think that's the difference between what corporate America does to some businesses, just sucking the soul out of it and making everything sort of generic, and then a really hardworking group of local folks that are serving their neighbors and what they do. And for Greg and his family, it's fixing those roofs, whether it be just an aged roof that needs replacing or somebody that's got some real damage. It's everything in between. These folks are great at what they do. You can trust them to do the work right. Our audience has really slammed me with feedback on how Greg treats them. We even had a caller the other day that said they called him out. They had some very minor stuff, had a roof cap, I think in a leak here or there. Greg just patched it up. I'm not saying he's going to do it for free for you, but he decided it wasn't even his worth his time to fill out paperwork and bill them for it. They're just good like that. So if you've got a project, whether it's a new one or you wind up with damage, occasionally we're going to get some bad weather and you're going to have some roof damage just that suddenly happens, even though your roof's in good shape. Y'all reach out to them. They've started doing this low pressure roof cleaning now too. It's one of the services they've offered for a while, but the solvents that are used are even more successful nowadays and even better at gently cleaning that roof, making it look like a brand new house. Boy, your house really looks dingy when it gets those streaks. If you have a northern slope, we're real prone to that here around Birmingham. So let them come and clean it and make it look new again and preserve the life of it by taking good care of it with that kind of maintenance. It's Storm Restoration Roofing, 205-542-3531, 205-542-3531, Storm Restoration Roofing. All right, in a minute, we'll get into some more. There's a lot of speculation over this J6 pipe bomber arrest and whether or not this Urkel-type kid would have really been able to pull that off or motivated to do that on his own. The jury's still out on a lot of stuff, literally and figuratively, but there's so much there's a stench on that case that we're still trying to get our handle around, and I'll talk to you about it here as we go on this afternoon too. The Daily Mail, I got to switch back to the Somali scam investigation in Minnesota. And let me pause right there and say this. This is where my spidey sense kicks in on stories like this with a lifetime of seeing things come and go. It's kind of, you start to see the same stories repeat, especially with corruption, covering it as a reporter, talking about it on the radio, seeing it firsthand, watching people in organized politics. I will submit to you, there are other scams like this in the country. I think you're going to see kickbacks, money scams. American politicians have their hands on this toll booth that people use to get things done in Washington or to not get things done. We're in a dynamic now, and write this down because it's a philosophy I'm starting to develop watching things. It used to be you paid off a politician to get action, right? You wanted them to do something for you, or they'd get in on the scheme to actively promote your scam or your business or your priorities or whatever. What we're seeing now are it's sort of corruption by omission or ignorance, by looking the other way. You're actually, like the mob would do on occasion back in the days of the height of their activity in New York and Chicago, they'd pay the police and the prosecutors to look the other way while they did whatever they wanted, sometimes with threats and extortion, but sometimes with just cash. And now we're seeing it with our mainstream politicians. We're seeing it in governor's offices, AG offices, local prosecutor offices. We've got prosecutors that are put in office not to prosecute. And one of those stories is emerging out of Illinois right now, where Governor Pritzker is being accused today of turning loose 1,700 dangerous criminals to keep them away from ICE. They had them in state custody with a requirement to turn them over on ICE detainers, but to assist in blocking ICE and standing up to ICE, they put more murderers and rapists and thugs and criminals back onto the streets, either of Chicago or Illinois or wherever in America, because some of these folks scatter, that should have been imprisoned and deported. So it's not just that they're not helping ICE, they're interfering by releasing people that were already peacefully in custody. They're making this country more dangerous. We just had another immigrant stab somebody at a train station in Charlotte, North Carolina. Tells almost an identical story to the one we were dealing with just a few weeks ago. And then we go back to Minnesota. So I guess the bigger point there is you're going to see the more we dig into this population of people that came here that didn't grow up in our rules, didn't grow up in our culture, don't have any respect for it, bringing their culture here, and then corrupt American politicians see a vulnerable group of people that they can play ball with. Some of these Somalis probably had no idea how bad what they were doing was being done. I mean, they're thinking, oh, America's great. They'll just hand you money. And these politicians that didn't help them are in trouble. Then there's Ilhan Omar herself. She is very astute, and she's done well only because she's got a voting bloc of other nationals in a concentrated area in the state of Minnesota, again, by design, that she's even on the national stage. The Daily Mail just moved a piece a few minutes ago about the old scandal that has haunted her tenure there in the United States Congress, and I would submit even threatens her immigration status. Now, by the way, how did she get here? Her father was one of the warlords in Somalia that ran death squads. This is just history. They've had brutal civil wars and tribal wars and warlord situations. It's why we went there to help out when the Black Hawk Down incident happened. And her father wound up running these death squads and just killing people all over the country. And then his side started losing politically and in the battles. And so then his life was in danger because of the people he had killed and the atrocities he'd committed. He was on the losing side, and he ran for cover in the United States, took her with him. So she's an immigrant with her father. Her father claimed asylum after committing incredible atrocities back in her home country. So there are deep rivalries and atrocities in history that we don't even know from some of these people that are now here in our country and concentrated around Minnesota. He didn't bring her brother when he came across. He brought her, but her brother was not allowed out. And so she was desperately trying to get her brother into the country. The Daily Mail just moved a piece this afternoon, and the headline, they're calling it an exclusive. I believe we know a lot of this information. I'm not sure how exclusive it is, but they're verifying now that Ilhan Omar did marry her brother intentionally to get him into this country. That's immigration fraud. That's a felony. She's on the record. They've got her on the record quoting her, saying she would do what she had to do to get him the papers. So in some ways, you could step back and say, hey, she's looking out for family. Her brother was in trouble. Her dad, it's death in that country if you're connected to one of these warlord death squad people. So you could claim, I could make the case for her that legitimate asylum was needed for her father's family. It's probably no fault of hers or her brother's that her father killed all those people and put the family in danger. The United States gives shelter to people all the time. It's part of this Afghan complex that we have with the Afghanis that got in here, some of which have now started being arrested for terror plots. Let's go to that story for a minute, and I'll go back to Omar. In the Afghanistan situation, you had people that worked as interpreters and facilitated some of the movements and behavior from our military and CIA operatives on the ground in country prior to our pullout, and legitimately could make claim that they assisted us on some promise that they get to leave or would get amnesty or some cover or shelter here in the United States. That probably wasn't explicitly written down anywhere, but it was the understood working relationship these Afghanis had with us. Those numbers would have been exceedingly small, not in the tens of thousands like the people Biden brought in, but it would be probably several thousand. And I know some military members that can tell you, man, look, Omar had my back. Omar risked his life. We need to get Omar back to America. That's honorable and that's noble. But we didn't do it that way. And it's the problem with all of the immigration policy that has unveiled itself here in this country over the last few years, is we did it in mass. One, they botched the pullout, period. They pulled out the security apparatus and left the civilians, Americans, and others to hang. You remember how this all went down? Then we had to send the military back to an airfield and tell Americans, get to the airfield if you can without getting killed, and we're going to run these flights. You had fellow Americans organizing their own routes out of that country after the pullout because the Taliban swept through as soon as we turned the lights off. The Biden administration abandoned equipment, thousands of pieces and millions of dollars in weapons, Humvees, all kind of helicopters, just left it on the ground in this haste to pull out. And they were so hasty that they pull out of Bagram and other places like that, they just did it and literally overnight turned the lights off. Taliban notices, they go storming into the Capitol. And the rest is history. By having to go back into an airfield to evacuate, you really created a kill box. That created a dangerous situation where 13 American soldiers were blown up on the gate. They responded by droning a whole family full of people out of revenge that had nothing to do with the bombing. Do you remember all this chaos? Now they sanctimoniously want to talk about drug boats, the people on the left. Well, the other part of that was the images that I'll never forget. It goes into history to me when the wall fell, when the last flights out of Vietnam, people cleaning the helicopters. And then, of course, in some ways, this could go down in history with other images at Tiananmen Square. I think about with the one guy standing there in front of the tanks. The images of these Afghanis running in their sandals down a runway and clinging to those giant gray planes, those C-130s and the other Starlifters and other planes, wanting out because they know what's coming. And instead of a methodological approach of vetting these people, we started bringing them in like cattle. The Biden administration was rubber stamping visas. And so in addition to the deserving people that we brought in, they brought in a bunch of dangerous people. As we told you they would, they lied to the country and said they were vetted. They weren't remotely vetted. And now here they are. And now we've got the obligation to sort that out on this side. To deport somebody that's going to get killed the minute they get back to Afghanistan after helping us, I say that would be wrong. But to not deport some of these terrorist thugs that are here to do harm, like the ones that have popped up in the news the last 3 weeks, that's more, better, wronger. I just made up a whole phrase. Y'all, we got immigration problems all over the place. Ilhan Omar is in a similar immigration trap. Her father brought these kids over, first her, and then she got her brother over, rightfully fearing for their lives because of the sins of their father. And there's some sympathy for me to her with that. If she weren't so arrogant and she didn't hate our country so much. But she lied to federal authorities, and now they've got it. The Daily Mail just did a huge expose on her being on the record. They've got documented evidence of how she did it. She married. Now, I'm not even implying incest, which some people do. And by the way, incest is a huge problem in Somalia. There's some statistics that show that maybe 60% of the DNA when sampled in Somalia is through incest. It's causing other cognitive problems and all that, which is part of their dysfunction. It's a backward place. But she escaped all that, and I don't even think we have to imply that she did that out of some romantic reason. She did it to defraud this country and to get her brother out of that country. And this is going to be an explosive story for her. She's managed to get away with it in the look the other way times, but her crew isn't running the immigration services anymore, nor are they running the Justice Department. And this Daily Mail piece could blow this wide open. It's stuff that you and I have heard for 4 or 5 years now, but now it's wide open for everybody to look at in the Daily Mail this afternoon. Michelson Laser Vision bringing you the show tonight. Dr. Mark and his daughter, Dr. Jennifer, they're both Michelsons, doing the surgeries every single day with the most cutting-edge technology available. They've got the Contour system. They didn't even have this 6 years ago when they did LASIK on me, and I had a perfect surgery. I am perfectly happy with everything they did, but they did bring that online first here in Alabama, among the first in the country to bring this radically changed, this evolution in eye surgery to Birmingham. And it's there for you. Some of you don't even need that level of service. Traditional LASIK settings and the way they do that may be perfectly fine for you. But some of you, if you've got night vision problems, you have those halos that you see at night with light conditions or when it's raining and it makes life difficult, they can actually fix that. Scar tissue from previous surgeries maybe that didn't go well somewhere else. Let them look at your eyes and give you a fresh look. Some of you have been turned down for LASIK because you weren't eligible. The machine couldn't do your level of service. Go back and have them look at you again. It's possible again. And I can only tell you it's life-changing to be suddenly 2015 after years of glasses and contacts and be able to see so clearly. It's MichelsenLaserVision.com. Dr. Mark Michelson and the whole team. Michelson Laser Vision, downtown UAB Highlands. MichelsenLaserVision.com.
Now to check 1 2 1 2. Now to avoid all that and become a frozen artifact. Now to avoid becoming a frozen artifact, Chili wants you to go ahead and join the Chili Club. It's expert HVAC maintenance program with a cool twist. You get priority service and exclusive deals. Also, you get discounts to keep your home comfortable all year long. And if you need to get your furnace checked, so go ahead and get your furnace checked out now because you'll be waiting.
All right, y'all, 354 leading live, turning in 5. Here we go, ladies, and some of you guys. Earthborn has got the Blue Light Art Show. It's back, and I'm so excited to promote it. Tina has become a friend. She made some personal pieces for us, a custom, over the holidays. We saw them in a restaurant that she supplies, and Jessica reached out to her and said, can you please make me these? And she did, and it was a huge hit at Thanksgiving. So I got to hang out with her some of Christmas and before Christmas, and they're getting ready to do this art show that I've been able to go out and hang out with, and I think we're going to have Tina on this week to talk about it. But it is this Saturday, December the 13th, from 9 to 4 on Sunday, Saturday 9 to 4, Sunday 11 to 4, and it's over at their studios in Leeds. Now, it's a cool studio. Every time I've been over there, it's because the art show is there, and they had the whole place pushed back and cleaned out, so all these artists can come in and show off their wares. And so I got to tour the place without all that, see how she does her production for her famous earthenware. And it really is a cool shop. We're lucky to have an artist like Tina Payne in Birmingham. But years ago, let me just give you a backstory since we're just now making this announcement. Tina decided to host other artists that hand make things. And as you go through your year of production, sometimes you do something that you would consider a second. There's a flaw in it or something that you didn't intend. You wouldn't want to sell it as a first run, basically. And so you wind up with this inventory that builds. It's just part of making anything that's crafty, and you want to get rid of it at the end of the year and still make some money on it. So these folks bring all that to this art show, and their discounts, in some cases, as much as 80% off what they would normally charge for their art. And you and I, the untrained eye, we'd never notice the imperfection. Some of it's very slight. There's a bubble in the finish or something that they don't like because artists are temperamental. We get the savings. I bought stuff there every single year. 50 different artists showcasing all of their work. You got leather craftsmen, people that just hand make things you wouldn't even consider. Great gift giving, last minute Christmas shopping here. There'll be more than a week out from Christmas. Inside their big old building, plenty of room. And in addition to all that, in addition to it being a fun artistic thing to do on a Saturday, they're also doing charity as they always do. There's a program called Empty Bowls. It's a hunger prevention program. And so they will ask for it. It's a suggested donation. You don't have to do it. But if you pay the $25 donation, you're going to get a meal while you're there. And you can enjoy the hot soup and then the bread that comes with it. And then the money is also shared with First Light Women's Shelter and the Well House. So, man, there's something to feel good about all of it. And guess what? This year they got some very famous chefs that are going to be providing the soup. We're going to get into more of that during the rest of the week. So y'all go to the Blue Light. I call it the Blue Light. That's my shortcut name for it. This Saturday, and here's a tip. The ladies get out there early. Fellas, if they drag you with them, just know it's still fun. A lot of the guys, we would just all congregate over in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go out there and just hang out.
Yeah.
And then the ladies do their thing. But there's stuff for guys to look at, too. I buy a lot of leather. There's a leather guy there every time, and I'll buy journals and stuff that he makes for my boys and whatnot. There's such good gift giving. But you better get there early. One, to get parked. But two, when she opens the door, it's one of those things where the inventory's, I guess, finite, and the good stuff gets gone pretty early on Saturday.
Yeah.
But if you can't make Saturday, they're there on Sunday too. So.
And I love my pieces that I get from them. So yeah. I use them, and I still have I have a bowl and have a couple of cups, and they're durable.
And you use them in your house?
Oh,
I
yeah, I use them.
I had them on display, and Tina got offended by that. She goes, "You got to use them. Put coffee in that mug." I was like, "Okay." One of them is one of my son's favorite mug. When he comes and visits from out of town, he grabs that mug when he's hanging at the house, and I call that his mug. And I've got a whole collection from her by now because for years she's been coming on, and we bought pieces, and she's always kind to bring us a little piece or two. It's Earthborn Studios. If y'all need to know where they are, they're not far from downtown Leeds, and they're kind of over there in the Bass Pro area off the 140 exit. You can get there a number of ways. Just put them in your GPS, and y'all go see Tina and get yourself some fun stuff, some unique stuff. This isn't Amazon. This isn't stuff you're going to get at the shopping center at Walmart. This is very unique Alabama-made things, and you'll enjoy the whole visit. It's the Blue Light Art Sale. We just spent a little time on that. Hey, Michael's got a traffic update. Can you do it fast, Michael? We got 30 seconds. Go, man. Yikes. Thank you, Michael. That's a good tip because that's right there before you go up the big hill, before you cross Oak Mountain. So right at the Lee Branch, he said outbound lane. Look out for that this afternoon on your way home. Here's a quick break. 1819 News, back in a minute.
Check 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hey, what's going on? This is AJ. You know, here in Birmingham, we got two weathers. Hey, what's going on? This is AJ. You know, in Birmingham. What's going on? This is AJ. You know, here in Birmingham, we got. Come on. I feel like it was in my throat. What's going on? Okay. Now, to avoid becoming a frozen artifact, Chili wants you to go ahead and join the Chili Club. It's expert HVAC maintenance program with a cool twist. You get priority service and exclusive discounts to keep your home comfortable all year long. Now, if your furnace does, now you need to go ahead. Now you need to make sure your furnace check. Now okay. Hey, what's going on? This is AJ. You know, in Birmingham, we don't get cold, we get confused. Our two primary seasons are sweltering, and did it even peak above 45 today? Now, if your furnace does break down, your house is going to go. Now, if your furnace breaks down, your house is going to become colder than the bottom of Vulcan's sandal, and you're going to be singing a sad off-key rendition of Jingle Bell Rocks right next to Chili the Parental Penguin. Now, to avoid becoming a frozen artifact, go ahead and join the Chili Club. It's an expert HVAC program. It's an expert HVAC maintenance program with a cool twist. You get priority service and exclusive discounts to keep your home comfortable all year long. Now you need to go ahead and get your furnace checked out. Because waiting for it to fail in Birmingham is like waiting for traffic on Highway 280. It's inevitable, and you'll never regret, and you'll regret the delay. Let's see. You need to go ahead and get your furnace checked out. You need to go ahead and get your furnace checked out right now, because waiting for it to fail in Birmingham is like waiting for traffic on Highway 280. It's inevitable, and you're going to regret the delay. I recently had the owner Thomas on my Okay.
All right, here we go. 405 Leland Live. We got things going on this afternoon. Y'all get in here, and we'll do the whole second half of the show. Real quick, repeat of a tip we just got from one of our listeners that's out there in it on 280 this afternoon. Apparently what he called a fresh wreck right there just happened at Lee Branch. If you live out 280 way, y'all know where Lee Branch is, that shopping center where Doug Baker comes into 280. AJ, you remember my Doug Baker story?
I do.
There's an Asian place. I think it's still open there, and they ordered a bunch of chopsticks. It has their name on it. Years ago, this was years ago, my sons and I were in there eating, and one of them looked down, and on the chopsticks, I guess they actually had them made in Asia. They were authentic. had the address of the place, and the road is called Doug Baker. It's named after the dad of the guys that built the shopping center, really. And the on the address they spelled it Dong Baka. Donga Baka. Donga Baka. And I think they ordered 5 million of them because I went in there later and they still had those chopsticks, or maybe nobody told them about it. They were just too embarrassed. They get there to pay, and they're thinking, should we tell them they've got a phallic address on their chopsticks? And that little cat sitting there with his little fist knocking, making. Never mind.
Well, it was
Nobody's going to notice.
Look, it's the same person who did my tattoo who wrote that, who put their flyer together. So I understand their pain.
Only the strong serve.
Yes.
It's AJ's tattoo.
Yes. Yeah. And I still have it on my arm.
We used
I haven't
to
got it covered up.
We used to do whole shows on misspellings. It happens. It does happen. Anyway, so Fresh Wreck, 280 outbound lanes. Going to be a mess right there. That's that one little spot before you head up the hill, head on over the mountain, and it can really be a choke point. So y'all look out for that. Try to find a way around it. If you can, it's going to take them a minute to get that cleaned up. Let's see. The weather, real quick on the weather. They're backing off the predictions that we're going to have this super duper cold snap on Saturday down in the teens, mid to low teens, dang near pipe breaking weather. The front that's heading down from the polar region looks like it's going to maybe stall out a little bit and not make it as far south as they thought. That's good news if you don't want everything to get that frozen on Saturday. So just a little quick tip on that. Here's another story. This is outside the realm of politics, or is it? Because it came up in the Trump briefing today. And this story, I guess, in some ways, whether we like it or not, affects a lot of people. And that is this bidding war to buy Universal Studios. Let's talk amongst ourselves. So whether you think you consume Universal products or not, they own HBO and they own
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers. That's right. I'm sorry. Warner Brothers, HBO. All these companies seem the same to me. It's and so you had a bid last week by Netflix that came in, and the reports are all over the place. I think we settled on $82 billion for Netflix to buy these production studios and control the whole thing. It's both HBO and their streaming platform and the production facilities at Warner Brothers, and then all the products they own. CNN's caught up in this mix. And then it gets complicated from there. But today, let me give you the big story, and then I'll try to explain as best I can in pedestrian language what's happening here. It's a business story, it's a political story, it's a censorship story, it's a lot of stuff. So let's dig into it. Because if you consume any kind of movies or television or sports or news, this story will have an impact, because really these giant studios merging in any form or another is just got a lot of potential for sort of monopoly. And there's arguments about that right now too. So today, Paramount, who was at the table already and trying to outbid Netflix, got beat by Netflix for some reason. And I've got some inside poop on why people think that is. Then they upped the ante. They came, instead of going to the deal makers at Warner Brothers, and came straight at the stockholders with a cash offer of, I think it's like $30 a share, but that comes to $102 billion to the stockholders of Warner Brothers. So they're saying, no, we'll buy the whole thing. Netflix wants to buy the valuable stuff, the studios. And when you talk about studios, they own these artist contracts. They own intellectual property that goes back years. I mean, they own what? Batman. They own all the comic book. That's more your lane, AJ. You can speak to that. The comic book franchises. I don't think Disney's not caught up in this because that's Disney ESPN, but
even a lot of those are integrated with each other. So
yeah, it's incestuous.
It's crazy because like Paramount and all these other, it's crazy.
So Netflix didn't want the dead products like CNN and some of the other things that are caught up in this Warner Brothers thing. They want to buy the good assets and leave the debt-ridden assets and let them fail. My understanding is Paramount's come, and it's an easier deal for the shareholders, and said, look, cash on the table, we'll buy the whole thing, take it off your hands. Boom. Now, let's talk about monopolies. We've got the Sherman Antitrust Act, and there's a really big intellectual argument as to whether that applies here. because we do live in a digital world where there's content being created all day long. There are people online unboxing new products and demonstrating them on YouTube videos that are getting more of an audience than CNN does. There are people that are not part of any of this big corporate megastructure in terms of production and movies and TV shows and film that are competing with those big studios. Well, for example, I'll give you an example with Netflix. Stranger Things, made on a tiny budget. The first series, which I think the best season was the first season. By the way, have y'all watched the new one? Because I hadn't watched the new one. It's the only thing on Netflix that's interesting to me, right?
Yeah, I haven't watched Stranger Things since the end of season 1.
Yeah, it was a good season. And they did it on a budget, shot it right over here in Georgia with all those tax incentives. Then they kept going through the iterations of it as it got bigger. They got more corporate. They got more money in it. And some people say the 5th season's a mess. I think some of my family are rewatching it. Season 3 there, they shot it at a mall. That's the old mall north of Atlanta in Duluth, up near Duluth, Gwinnett Springs Mall. I think I went there as a kid. They use that mall. They're still shooting it around Atlanta. And but anyway, back to the bigger story. So there's a censorship argument in addition to the monopoly argument, because you got the monopoly argument that whoever buys this thing will control so much production. They've got control of a lot of what Americans see and consume. Then you get into the censorship stuff and the social engineering. And that's where the Netflix thing comes in, and that's where it turns political. Netflix is notorious for just butchering plot lines and doing updated adaptations that shove LGBTQ and some of this other agenda, social agenda stuff in. And they've ruined writing, plots, creativity, viewership with all of their products. In fact, there's a group called the Concerned Women of America. It's a conservative women's group. They've done an analysis of Netflix alone, saying that 41% of the children's shows, not just the mainstream adult stuff and all the other weird, kinky, dark stuff that's on Netflix nowadays, it's just perverted trash. That 41% of the children's shows currently out on Netflix right now have LGBTQ content of some type. 40%. For some to have it, okay, y'all can discuss that. That's an agenda. That's not a natural percentage representation of anything in this country. And their study goes really deep. So now it becomes political. So the argument politically is, are we going to let Netflix, who has Obama on the board, and this guy is trying to keep himself relevant, steering our country off a cliff as best he can as an ex-president. Rumors all over the place today. He's hanging out over in the United Kingdom now, trying to keep their resistance to the Trump administration going. This guy's undermining the presidency. Probably ought to be in prison for some of the stuff he's already done. But he got this sweetheart deal for he and Boo to produce a podcast that went straight to hell. Nobody wants to watch Michelle Obama whine about how hard her life is. But he's still on the board. He's still directing things. And some other ne'er-do-wells are on the board, which is why you get this socially woke content, this social justice-driven content that's just dead and turning people off. The problem there, politically, just sheer politics, is if you give that bunch of people at Netflix, those people are making those decisions, control of these studios and that huge monopoly, they'll continue to try to social engineer the country with these platforms instead of just presenting entertainment, making people laugh and cry and entertaining us with real creativity. That kind of stuff will get worse with the whole Warner Brothers franchise. They'll turn Batman into a gigantic lesbian who won't actually be from a bat like a winged creature, but it'll be a softball player. She has a bat. She whoops people with a softball bat. That's what they'll do to it.
Is that Batman?
I am the Batman. Now you're going to find out why.
I mean, that's why Christian Bale was sounding like that.
Yeah, he was. It was really a lesbian voice he was imitating.
Right. We need to lesbian up Batman up just a little bit. I need you to be. Just imagine your character playing softball.
Yes, after she whooped somebody, one of the bad guys, the lesbian Batman, Batwoman, Bat lesbian.
Right.
Will just say, "You're out."
Right. So that's why they never knew that Batman was Bruce Wayne, because they always thought it was some type of lesbian. They're like, man.
See, it was the backstory. Now we've evolved with the new Netflix.
There you go.
Let them get a hold of Batman. It's all over. It's going to happen.
Right.
Robin could stay exactly the same.
Hi, Batman.
Can I go too? And then she'll light up a cigarette, let it dangle out of her upper lip, button her flannel shirt, and walk off in her comfortable shoes.
Oh. And then the Riddler is going to be like, so, who has a bat with no balls?
The Joker's like, not even going to touch that. The whole thing's going to be different.
Oh, Two-Face.
Oh, keep going, man. You got all the comic book stuff.
Oh, man. Two-Face is going to be a whole other character now. He's going to be one half is going to be a female, other half is going to be a dude.
Wonder Woman. Ain't a woman. Ain't a woman no more.
Nope. Wonder Woman, your lasso of truth is telling on you. Are you excited? I mean,
why does Wonder Woman have hair in her chest now? Yeah, it's where we're going. Thank you. So a lot of us are pulling for Paramount in this thing. I don't know much about Paramount's board, but I know they ain't on Netflix the whole universe of things I grew up with.
But I think at one point wasn't Paramount owned by Viacom, which was then also CBS and then HBO, and it was like all these different companies, and they broke off and split, and then like Paramount become its own entity, and now it looks like they're trying to like bring all this stuff back.
I'm confused.
Yeah.
It's like, could they just go ahead and buy corporate radio and let's get it over with? Just buy all of us and fire me. I mean, anyway. Y'all, so anyway, that's a story that's mired in layers of argument. I think they're going to have trouble passing, depending on which structure wins, they're going to have trouble passing, federal regulators that could get challenged over the monopoly argument, the censorship people. Now, the dirty secret allegedly was why would apparently in the original deal, and I know this may be too nerdy and in the weeds, but I find it fascinating. Have you ever watched Succession? I feel like I'm watching Succession because that movie was just nothing but these mega media companies going to war and cutting each other's throats. It was pretty good show. So you have apparently Paramount made the better deal to start with, but they still went with Netflix, and no one can understand it. Netflix offered a lesser top value deal. What Netflix offered, the reason some people say the board voted to go with Netflix initially. Now that's subject to this is a hostile takeover, basically. They said that they offered a $5 billion, what they call a breakup guarantee, that if the feds don't approve the deal, that the board gets $5 billion. Did I mention Barack Obama? Let's go back to him for a second. So he's on the board of Netflix. And they're telling the Warner Brothers board, this is what they're saying. We're going to get the regulators, we're going to get this passed through the federal regulation. Forget Trump, forget the MAGA people, the conservatives that might oppose Netflix buying it. We've got an inside track on getting this across, and we're so confident of that, we're willing to put up $5 billion sort of as an insurance policy that the deal will go through and you'll get your money. Now, Paramount wasn't making any kind of offers. They were just saying, here's the cash. At first, they were offering merger terms, but now they're just putting cash money on the barrelhead. And so we got this behind-the-scenes cloak and dagger stuff where they're claiming they've got the lobby organization, they've got the right politicians bought off, they don't fear Trump, that they'll get this past any kind of Trump administration objections and are willing to put $5 billion where their mouth is. This is high-stakes stuff, man. Could be, I don't know what it compares to. I think it's the biggest media buyout or merger in our lifetimes. Am I wrong?
I gotta agree. Yeah, when I saw the numbers, I mean, even just what Netflix was talking about paying, was $72 billion.
And now they're at 102.
I mean, just like it's
for this
normal.
property. Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna take my $10.
We got to where we throw billions of dollars around so much. It's like, 102, 101, whatever. Right. $1 billion difference. $1 billion.
So that's where my $10 a month for Netflix is going towards. Do I get a piece of that? I just want like a small piece.
It's $40 a month. I swear to God, I'm paying for 2 accounts. I thought I canceled one, and I still kept getting billed. And turned my TV on, it was still there.
Yeah.
So I canceled something, and it was still there.
You know, I'd be afraid to like do those user agreements because I don't know what I'm agreeing to. Like, am I paying for more?
Oh yeah, you're just selling your soul. I do it all the time. Let's all be honest. We scroll to the bottom and click agree.
You can't watch nothing till you agree.
I just want to watch my show. I agree. We're gonna take your DNA and sell it to the Somalians. I agree. Here, let me watch my show. I'm tired. Don't play me any commercials too while you're at it.
Oh, now that's another thing. Oh, anyway, I digress.
I pulled up Hulu last night before I could get going. They played 8 commercials. I'm like, I thought I subscribed to this thing.
Yeah. I mean, Netflix is doing that now. I don't know which plan I got. I think I got like the old geriatric old plan. But yeah, every time I turn it on, there's a commercial that plays. I'm like, when did they start doing this?
What the hell is this? Leland Live? All the damn ads. Have you lost your mind? By the way, I would remind our audience your subscription is free. You can have your money back if you want it.
And if you want to share your account with other people,
do it. We don't mind. Share it.
Yes.
Absolutely free. Axiom Tax Resolution Group, speaking of sponsors, that's Perry Cronin bringing you the show tonight. Man, this guy can get you out of a pinch. Some of y'all are in a pinch. You're in a lurch. You're in a quagmire. You're in a jam. Here comes another tax year. And you know that bill's going to kick you right in the kiwis, and you don't know what you're going to do. That is a sick feeling. I have been there. I've been there where I'm anticipating because it didn't withhold enough or something got off kilter, and here it comes. So you got to get ready. Or you're not even sure because tax code's so complicated. You don't even know what the liability is going to be till you get your return done, and then you're holding your breath, and then it's panic season, right, to get that bill paid before April. Let Perry Cronin get involved now. He'll help you before the end of this calendar year. Perhaps there's some moves you can make to limit that liability or not make it worse, not miscalculate further as we get ready for next year's season. Some of you are dealing with past years where they're already trying to freeze your assets and stalk you. Y'all let him do his magic. This man set up Axiom just to do this kind of work to help people that are sideways with the IRS. They do it all the time, and they're really good at it. It's Axiom Tax Resolution Group. The big part for me is he's local. You're not dealing with these 1-800 number pass-through referral businesses. This is Perry. This is his team. They're right here. There's not a soul in this country that knows more about it than Perry. We're lucky to have him in Birmingham. So y'all sit down, break bread, have some coffee, do whatever, and let him go to work for you. Axiom Tax Resolution Group, 205tax.com, 205tax.com. It's 427. If you wanted to surprise the family and tell them you're getting a pool this year, where would you even start? Distinctive Pools. Y'all know I got the answer to that question. Gary Levesque's been doing this stuff for 40 years, both pools and hardscapes. He actually started doing hardscape stuff and block projects and all that material, and then got into pool building. And now these days, the two are combined. People don't just build a pool, they build a whole outdoor living space, and that makes a lot of sense. You can enjoy it all year. Let them get on it. We've still got a few days left to start scratching together a budget, helping you line up maybe your financing so you feel confident to announce it to the family. Some of you are willing to go with just an estimate, and they can do that for you. Give you a ballpark, tell you how you're going to line it up, and tell them you're getting a pool. Get that thing built before the warm weather returns, and you've got an exciting 2026 ahead. The team at Distinctive Pools is ready to go. Again, all that experience. Look at the examples of the beautiful stuff they built all on their website. It's distinctivepools.com, distinctivepools.com. Well, there's another story in the news locally today. There's been a state audit of the Birmingham Waterworks Board, and it is as bad as you would believe, an accounting mess. They were paying out money to buddies. There was stuff being stolen. They didn't have internal controls. They were ignoring the bid laws. I mean, it just keeps going of the waste and the fraud. It's like all these government scandals. It's either incompetence or corruption, probably a mix of both, I would imagine. Because once you become corrupt, then you want to hire your buddies, and they don't know what the hell they're doing. Now you've got built-in incompetence, and the cycle repeats. They did everything but give the money to a Somalian terrorist. I mean, it's a scandal within the scandal. If I'm the Birmingham Waterworks Board, here's what I do. Here's my PR campaign to get out of this. I know they got a new board now. I say, hey, at least we're not Minnesota. That's how I get out of it. I say, I know it looks bad right now, but have y'all seen what they did in Minnesota? I would put Tim Walls. I would AI Tim Walls. Hi, this is Tim Walls for the Birmingham Waterworks Board. We ain't so bad. That's all they got left, man. What a mess. It's what we thought. A lot of us have thought for years. Look, water is essential for life itself. We got to get it delivered in Birmingham a better way. More on that later, perhaps. Headlines when we get them. Here's the bottom of the hour. Man, I had no idea the Black Crowes did that. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
I like it when you surprise me with something fresh. No George Michael and Mariah Carey on this Christmas.
Even though I did, even though Richard and Val were kind of upset at me because I did Wham Everybody.
Did you bust up their Wham game?
Yeah, I did.
At the party the other night?
I did. That was the first.
Just
Hey,
pick a
that was the
difference.
first song I did.
My thing is, look, with people that do the Wham Christmas,
Yeah.
do another band. Find another song. Throw a little Nat King Cole in there.
Right.
What's your favorite Christmas song?
Oh gosh, it
It's Christmas song with Nat King Cole's mine. Or
Yeah.
maybe some Bing. I don't know.
I do like the
some
Eartha Kitt, Santa Baby. I thought that was pretty good.
Bing. Yeah.
You know, Ella Fitzgerald. She does a good, you know, Frosty and stuff like. I like the old school, like the Nat King, the Bing Crosby.
I do too. The classics.
Yeah, like those.
Which
the
one
classic
makes you
ones.
want to turn to Islam?
Oh
change your
gosh,
religion.
no,
Maybe,
okay.
Maybe go to another direction.
Okay, so
Skip the whole season.
I like. Don't get me wrong. I love Mariah Carey as an artist,
Yikes.
and I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yikes.
She I bet she didn't think that song was going to be as popular as it is, and that she can retire off that song, just that one song.
Oh my God,
But if I hear that song,
it's terrible.
and I hear that intro part, I'm like, oh gosh, no, please don't.
I was getting a fajita, my favorite Mexican place today,
Yeah.
and they had Spanish language Christmas songs playing, and not just Feliz Navidad. They had redone that song. Some Spanish group was doing that. All I Want for Christmas. And I looked at Jessica and I said, "Still better than Mariah Carey." It was completely in Spanish, but I understood the song. I'd rather hear that one if I could. I should have Shazammed it so we could play it on the show today.
Oh god. Oh, I'll find it.
For all of our soon-to-be departed friends from south of the border. Adios and Feliz Navidad, friends. Y'all, Work Trucks bringing you the show tonight. TRUX, WorkTrucksLLC.com. Hey, man, look, this is where you can get a fine quality business truck. They've got a lot of them in every shape and size. If you're making moves in 2026, because the economy's taking a turn, you can feel it, you can sense it everywhere. Things are getting slightly better day by day from the days of 9.5% Biden inflation. And you're going to take a chance on yourself, start your own business. You're going to need a truck. Go to Work Trucks. You're going to get the best deal. These are low miles. The depreciation's gone. Everything is kind of already done to it. With the low miles, you're getting basically a new truck, but the depreciation hit's been taken. Some of them have already been outfitted. You get the benefit of the outfitting, or some people call it upfitting, with a service body or racks or all these things they put on the trucks. They've got plain old pickup shop trucks down there, and box trucks and vans and flatbeds and everything in between, crane body trucks and everything you need for business. Go see them, and it's turnkey. The truck's on the lot. They can help you get it financed, take your trade in. If you got one you got to unload, it's time to upgrade your fleet or add to it. It's Work Trucks, TRUX, downtown Birmingham, 3rd Avenue South. Tell Bubba and the team we said, hey, they really do go through these trucks, and their reputation's on it. They won't put one of these trucks on the lot that's not ready for work. It's Work Trucks, TRUX, WorkTrucksLLC.com, WorkTrucksLLC.com. Well, we can't get too far from the sort of political story of the day, I would suppose, and it's Jasmine Crockett getting into the Senate race out in Texas. I sort of handicapped that when the announcement was first leaked on the show, and I tried to give it a serious take. She has not presented herself as a serious person, but she's got to change her game. She's getting a big splash. I mean, how many people decide to run for Senate, and it becomes a nationwide story? So in some ways, I'm giving her credit. That Jerry Springer routine she ran on this country for the last 3 years got her enough attention that people want to know what she's doing. The background is she's been drawn not completely out of her district, but all the districts have changed in Texas, so she doesn't have the advantage of just running on race. She can't just run as the black girl anymore. She's got to have some substance. But she put her announcement out, which was fascinating what they did, and I'm not going to knock it. I mean, I think it's creative because she's got to keep that attention. And the way she looks like she's going to come out of the gate running is just being an anti-Trump foil. Just like the politicians here can't run an ad. You can't find a Republican that will run an ad and not mention Trump or use his voice in some way. Steve Marshall, for example, is running for Senate here. I think he got introduced at a lunch one day. I mean, Trump's going down the list of people in the room. Steve Marshall, he's good. I like him. He's back there in the back. That's a campaign ad now, as if they hang out and go golfing at Mar-a-Lago every weekend. He's a crime fighter, I tell you. When we're at Mar-a-Lago, he tackles assassins in the bushes. I mean, he's the man. So you got people that will exaggerate their connections to Trump. Crockett's Democrat, so her advantage is to get her own people out and use Trump as the motivator, which has been good for them. So she comes out with an ad, and I have to describe it to you because I can't show it to you at present. And she is dressed up, I guess, in a black dressy kind of top. You see her from the shoulders up, headshot, dark background. She's sort of looking up at a light. They got a soft light on her. She looks nice. She's very professionally dressed. And she's just staring off into space, listening to sound clips of Trump talking about her. It's just like what the Republicans do, but the opposite. So here's Trump calling her low IQ and stupid and all this stuff, just like he called Tim Walz a retard the other day. You think Tim Walz will do an ad with him? He's a retard. People are, by the way, driving past Tim Walz's house right now, yelling retard out the window. It's terrible. And by the way, if you don't understand modern insults, the insult retard is not for people that are going through some mental disability. It's for just dumbasses. Y'all understand that, right? It's a slur against stupid people, not people that are seriously dealing with problems in life. So that's Walz's new thing, but she's embraced it, and she turns to the camera just toward the end. She turns to the camera, folds her arms, and smiles. It's weird and it's stupid, but it may be effective because remember, she's trying to win a primary first. She's got to go for her base. She's talking to the Democrats, making herself a martyr. This is very Nancy Mace-ish. Take a listen to the insults. Okay, so let me think more about that. On the positive side, it'll get attention. We just played it on our radio show. We're not even in Texas. So people in Texas will be talking about that ad. It probably will pay a play to the base that just despises Trump. Again, it pays her to be some kind of victim to Trump's derision. All of them are victims of Trump's derision. Every Democrat of any note in the country can find a string of 10 insults to make themselves look important. On the negative side, she's trying to look like she's important enough that she has the attention of the president. He gets squirreled by all of them. He'll pop off at reporters. You can take any given reporter in the press pool, and they could do the same ad on themselves where Trump is just slinging invective. So what does it do? It gets her attention, and here's my strategic thinking. You ready? This is a gift to the Republican Party in the state of Texas. Let me explain. One, they've got a bruising, bloody bloodbath of a primary coming up between the sitting senator who's being challenged by the sitting AG. That's always expensive in a state like Texas. It will be $100 million minimal to stay statewide and to run in a state that big and that important just in the primary season alone, which is fast approaching because a lot of these primaries will be settled by around June of this year. So before we ever get to a general election, which she does not, the demographics do not favor her at all. What she has going for her advantage in the whole Democratic Party is this Republican war that's about to take place in Texas and what's left on the other end of that. Sometimes voters get so turned off by both candidates, they don't turn out to vote in the general. It's true. Trump's not on the ballot. Those are all advantages for the Democrats. Here's what's an advantage for the Republican. This woman is a flaming bag of doo-doo in the middle of their own primary. They have an opportunity here to nominate a somewhat moderate candidate that could appeal to middle voters, which is the only way you're going to win as a Democrat in Texas. They're underwater in Texas, just like they are in a lot of the South. The last polls I could find showed them, at best, turning out 40% of the vote in a general election. Trump won Texas by 14 points in the last election. So that kind of tells you some of the numbers. And so where are we? She gets in the race, diva as she is, and probably cannot distance herself too far from her bombastic statements in the past, the pretending to be ignorant routine that played through her district, this head bobbing ghetto girl going to tell y'all what time it is thing. That is not going to bring non-interested, moderate, swing-type voters that have moved to Texas, even from California, into her side in the fall. And so in that way, she's probably, here's my calculation from now, she's got enough momentum and name recognition to maybe win that primary. They have a very weak state senator looking at running. One of the other major candidates bowed out. If she wins that primary, it's gold for the Republicans. It's just like the race we just saw in Tennessee, where you had a nut job try to run against a pretty solid Republican and got slaughtered. That was not a win for the Democrats in any way, no matter how they spun it. That's a 10-point district. It came out just about like that, the way the district's drawn now. And so it's just because Democrats blew every opportunity to sneak up on the Republicans and catch them without looking with a sane candidate, and they put this crazy woman in there. Now, Crockett isn't crazy. She's got a different set of baggage. I don't think she's crazy. I really think she's pretty smart. And she's got to do a personality flip. I don't know they're going to buy it. Not in 5 months with all the money in the world. She will raise money, though. Democrats will get behind stuff like this. And it is, I'm looking at it, I'm trying to be as dispassionate as I can, forget the two parties or any allegiance. Tactically, this is a huge gift to the Republicans. It wouldn't be a big deal at all if she didn't have a shot at winning the Democrat primary. I think she's going to win that primary because they don't have anybody else. Unless Beto shows up, because he's built a money base. He's proven he can raise money, and I don't think he's done. I don't know who all are the Democrats out there now. There's not another statewide Democrat that's of note. They haven't had that in years. So yeah, she may have the name ID, the fundraising ability, and the media savvy to keep herself relevant and get that nomination, and then she's done.
I wonder what's going to be on the other side, on the Republican side, because with Cronin running for
blood.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just blood. Cronin's a weak milquetoast guy, but he's establishment, and establishment's going to come in there with all their money, like they did the Katie Britt race here. They're going to protect their own. You watch Thune; he'll protect Cornyn at all costs.
But he's running for attorney general, or no?
No, the attorney general is running against him for his own seat. Cornyn's up for re-election. And the sitting AG, who's a MAGA guy, is going up against him. So it is MAGA versus the establishment in Texas. That is expensive and leaves them at the end of that probably broke with an eventual winner trying to raise money and use their advantage against the Democrats, right? So the Republicans have the number advantage in the state, but it's an off year, and Democrats may have a shot with all the transplants, particularly from California in a general right now. Trump's not on the ballot if it's a 14-point race for Trump against the word salad lady. At best, this is maybe a 6-point race between two general candidates in Texas without Trump there. So the Democrats are within striking distance, I believe, in the state of Texas of pulling one off. But they got a bump. They got a turd bag for a nominee if she wins. And so smart strategists on their side will probably try to kneecap her before she can get going because she's not electable statewide. You can't convince me, as much as Texas has changed, that this woman can win statewide. I can't, not in a million years could I believe that. This ain't Virginia. This ain't New Jersey. This is freaking Texas. And the things she said and done, basically what she's saying with this rollout is she doesn't need a single Republican vote. She's not even going to try to court them. And you cannot win that state without them. Can't do it. She's not even trying to go moderate. Granted, the old strategy, I'm trying to give her some credit here. The old strategy is play to your base, get the nomination, and then pivot to the middle. That is time-tested. Doesn't always work, especially with somebody with a record as she has. Track record. That's what I was looking for. It's getting late. I'm tired. It's getting dark outside. Still got an hour and 15 minutes of yapping to do, too. And we'll do it on the other side of the break. Blake Lee's Bouquets bringing you the show tonight. If you got family coming over at Christmas, you need a centerpiece, or even just want to lift somebody up for the holidays when people get to feeling blue, man, this weather, all the pressure of the holidays, it's so busy. Everybody seems happy and blah, 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 and you're not feeling good on the inside. Or you know somebody that's like that right now, dragging their tail a little bit here at Christmas time. Send them a little blue bouquet. Send them a surprise gift and a note. There's probably somebody you could sit and think of right now. You could do that too spontaneously. I am telling you, you can get on their site. That deed is done in 10 minutes. The flowers are delivered by noon tomorrow, and you just made somebody's day here in December. Blake Lee's Bouquets. What a great little shop. Go see them in person if you want to do something custom. Otherwise, everything on their site is so easy to navigate, click on, get that order in, have your message ready. I'm telling you, it's so fast. You'll have your flowers picked out before you even have thought about your message. So get that ready when you log on and jam it in there, and they'll handwrite it and deliver it and let you send you a little text and let you know it made it. Blake Lee's Bouquets, BlakeLees, BlakeLeesBouquets.com. Well played, my man. That may be the exact song I heard too. I could listen to that all day long because you don't hit me with any Mariah Carey, man. Feliz Navidad, y'all. Southern Skies Dermatology bringing you the show tonight. Y'all, go get checked for skin cancer. If you don't have time to do it between now and the end of the year, because sometimes I know it gets busy, put this on your New Year's resolution list. In addition to eating better and working out and all the stuff we come up with, there's a checklist that you need to include of do your checks, do the health checks, do the screenings, do all the stuff you're supposed to do. If you're a man or a Democrat woman, get your prostate checked. If you are of a certain age, it's time for us to do other things in life. The breast cancer exams are highly recommended for people of a certain age, but skin cancer is kind of ubiquitous. It does start to affect older people. It's true, but it's not just old people. It's not exclusive to older, whiter skinned people. Dark skinned people can come down with various versions of it too. There's some argument to be made that the darker your skin, the harder it is to spot. It's not as contrasty. And so you need the expert eyes at Southern Skies to look it over. This could absolutely save your life or save the life of someone you love. Sun exposure and other genetic things can be contributors. And y'all, the hard lesson we learned in my family is that it can travel. It can start externally, but wind up in your glands, all over your body. And that is a fight that my mom has waged for years now, and y'all don't want to have to deal with that. She's given me permission to talk about it on occasion. You don't want to live through fighting it off when it goes internal. So get it checked early, and do it at Southern Skies, where this is all they do. They specialize in this, and they do the most procedure, so they can check you as you go along. SouthernSkiesDermatology.com, SouthernSkiesDermatology.com. All right, I don't want to play geologist, but I have noticed a pattern. We've had a lot of earthquakes lately all around the Pacific Rim. There was one today in Japan. They wound up being a 7.6. There were tsunami advisories. They didn't really have to do a warning. And there was some damage. It was right off the coast, a little bit closer to land than the one that hit was it Fukushima? They hit the nuclear plant that time, and we had all the problems and fallout. That was a massive tsunami. But the region's been active. We just had one last few days right off the coast of Alaska near the Canadian border. There was one over on the other side of the Pacific Rim late this afternoon, too. I don't know if it means anything. I mean, geologists study these things. They're trying to come up with ways to predict. But you just get this sense. It's just sort of a sense that the west coast of the United States is a little bit overdue. I don't remember the last major quake that we had. I was literally, you remember the World Series when we had one right in the middle of the World Series? I was watching that ball game live. Actually working at my little radio station job. I'll never forget it. ABC ABC Sports had it. I believe it was Al Michaels, if I remember the voice work right. And I had smuggled in a little black and white television. We could pick up the ABC affiliate over the air from our studio. Now, I probably would have been fired if I got caught with a TV on my air shift, but I was keeping up with the songs, spinning the records, but keeping an eye on that ball game. They called it the Subway Series because wasn't it Oakland and the Dodgers? No. It was the Giants and the A's in this series, and then this thing hit San Francisco. Some of you will remember the double-decker bridges where they have lanes on top and bottom just pancaked and killed all those people. Mm-hmm. That was a big one. I think that I could be wrong. That's the last big one I remember from back in the 80s. Point being, you just get a sense that the United States or the West Coast that is a little more prone is overdue, and those tectonic plates are moving, and there's been a lot of activity. Volcanic eruptions. I mean, we just had huge volcano to erupt in Hawaii in the last few days, making incredible pictures. I know this kind of activity goes on all the time, and maybe it's just because we've got so much real-time information. Every time I look down, I got a new headline. But just something seems real busy about the Pacific Rim right now. So you got to hope we're not dealing with that here in the United States in a populated area. I mean, it's one thing for Alaska to get one, and we love our fellow Americans in Alaska, but it's rural. It's very spread out, very sparsely populated, and not as likely to take life or do too much structural damage. There ain't a whole lot of structures, but still, it's something that we'll be paying attention to with all the other stuff in the news as well. One more time for Lonnia's Furniture Companies. We head toward the top of the hour. incredible gift giving there too. If you got somebody in your life that needs a little sprucing up, they got lamps, they got rugs, they got lazy boys. Let me talk. One of the best things we did years ago when my sons were still in high school is we created a cool place for them to hang out down in the basement. I called it the man room. It's back before the invention of the phrase man cave, but we set it up so they could play their games with their buddies, have friends over for movies in a controlled environment. It sort of made our house the hangout, which means I knew where my kids were at night, and we just loved it. What good memories! And it started with a set of matching recliners. Everybody's got their own space. You can get that at Lonnie's Furniture Company. They've got more lazy boys than lazy boy, and they'll match them up for you and pull that whole room together. It's TVs are so cheap nowadays. I remember stressing out over the cost of the TV more than anything back then. You stack up some lazy boys, build it out like a little theater, and make those places in your home to get away from it all and chill out together. Yeah, they've got them for you at Lonnie's Furniture Company. Motion, non-motion, smart technology. They got massage. They got heat. They got memory settings on those seats when you get that comfortable spot and set that memory. Y'all go see them. Lonnie's Furniture Company, LAUNIUS, exit 280 on 65. All right, y'all, 506, Leland Live, talking to NM5. Danny Knowles with the Knowles Group bringing you the show this hour. That's my lifelong friend and incredible financial advisor that can help you get your money on track. If you're following the day-to-day movements on the market and making day trades, man, y'all have fun with that. That is the Wild West. That's like a casino, and some people get a thrill out of doing it that way. That is not smart. That may be fun for some side money or for some hustle, but that is not good for your overall retirement plan. There are ways to follow the long-term trends of the market that have proven over time throughout the entire history of the stock market to have your money there for you, even through some crash periods. If you hang on for the recovery periods, your money still pulls in these averages that can beat a lot of people's expectations. But you got to know how to place it, where to place it, and that's where Danny comes in. He and I have been friends since we were 10 years old together, growing up in a little small town in East Alabama, and he's gone on to become an incredibly successful financial planner and advisor. His sons, who were all out there with us, his whole team, I saw more than his boys. I saw a bunch of people over there at their table out for our event on Friday night. So some of y'all got a chance to chat with them about your financial prospects. Let them help. Let them come and look at your portfolio. Figure out, some of you don't know, when should I retire? What's my timeline, or how much money do I need? And they can assess that for you. Some people have a timeline in mind. There's a date out there in the future where you're going to hang it up. That's it. Some of you have a money amount. If you can hit that money amount, then you can be done. Some of you just want to keep on trucking and have your money managed properly so you get a proper return. Depends on your goals and where you start. It's the Knowles Group, N-O-L-E-S, theknowlesgroup.com, theknowlesgroup.com. Man, we have got stuff going down here tonight. Time for some phone calls. I've been going 100 miles an hour. We haven't taken as many calls tonight. So if y'all want to get on the show, bring it, 545-9950. We can entertain those here in the last hour. Let me see if we'll start at the top with the traffic and weather and all that. Let's see if we got that incident down on 280 cleared up, because it was a mess. Woo, 65. I wouldn't go anywhere near 65 near downtown right now. We had a wreck at Lee Branch, and that usually will cause problems for a long time. And it's the outbound lanes. Looks like some of that might still be there. A little bit of a slowdown, but not anything chaotic. But 280 between 459 and 119. Wow, what a mess right there tonight going inbound. So do what you can to get around. You got a lot of extra traffic load these times of the days with kid events as they wrap up the school year, and, of course, Christmas shopping. I'm going to ask you the most trite question that everybody asks this time of year. Do you have all your Christmas shopping?
H-E double hockey stick, no.
Does your wife do most of it, or do you help out?
I help out, but see, here's the thing. I got a baby girl now whose birthday is this Friday.
Get the combo.
Yeah, so she's going to turn 1 year old this Friday, and so now I'm going to have to buy birthday gifts.
Oh, yeah.
And then 2 weeks from her birthday,
yep,
it's Christmas.
You can't combo it, man. They don't like that.
Well,
they'll act like they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't like. They want to have. It's like you're robbing them of a birthday.
She's 1. She don't even know what a birthday is right now.
But you know what? I always tell them, look, when kids start to complain about that, I was like, Jesus got combo gifts. So if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for you, because his birthday happens to be right on Christmas.
Yeah, but then I don't want them to get that, the ego in their head thinking I just compared them to Jesus.
No.
And then they can walk on water.
Then they might run for office or something. True story. 5:10, y'all get back in here. Traffic looking a little bit better. The good news today for me on the weather, now I'm doing some traveling this weekend, and I got to go to a super cold climate. AJ, I couldn't even find any gloves today. I was like, I'm going to need gloves.
Oh,
it's going to be below freezing the whole time I'm there. I'm going to visit my new grandbaby.
Yeah.
And they got some brutally cold weather. But it was going to be even colder here in Birmingham this Saturday. They were forecast models that were run that were down to 15 degrees, 12 degrees in parts of the state. And that is a deep freeze cold snap that is hard for us Southerners to deal with. But they backed off of it now. The new models show that polar vortex, I just like saying that, is not going to get as far south as they originally thought. So we may not have that pipe-breaking kind of deep freeze weather this weekend. Still cold. They've still got it down in the 20s for Saturday night. But to me, that was a huge relief for a lot of people. Here's another traffic update. We'll get some more phone calls in here Kim is on a cell phone. What's up, Kim? Okay, good for you. We had an earlier caller that let us know about that right when it happened. So now we got an all clear, and that's just as important. Hey, good stuff. Thank you, Kim, for that green light. We need that sometimes. All right, you too. Yeah, sometimes knowing that it's like when we do tornado coverage and we give out the warnings, but knowing when the warning's canceled is just as important. You can go about your lives. That's good stuff. All right, let's start back at the top, and we'll go through all the things here tonight. I just saw this where Trump is weighing in. I'm a little fascinated with the business deal of this Paramount and Netflix fighting over Warner Brothers, and this being one of the biggest media deals we've ever seen. It's the politics of it. It's the law of it. It's that whole idea about censorship and monopolies. And now Trump's weighing in saying, yes, he would have concerns over the deal that was brought by Netflix. And, look, it is going to create a behemoth of a monster in a lot of ways in Hollywood. The question I have is, I know we have federal regulation for these kind of things for a reason, and presidents get to weigh in. But is what bad movies get produced really a national problem right now with us about to go to war with Venezuela?
Man, look, if I was in this negotiation and I needed to get like Trump's approval, I would just end it like this. Trump, we will make a glowing review documentary of not only your first presidency, but also when they robbed you of your second one, and then how you came back and got into office.
They're going to do a documentary over the stolen election.
Right, man. Look, someone needs to do that. I bet you would get approved. Whoever.
Here's what they do. Here's how they get it approved by Trump. Because they're trying to beat Paramount, who's made a bigger offer. Mm-hmm. And they're kind of trying to slide in there. There's this bidding war, which went up by $20 billion today when Paramount showed up. They go, Obama's been fired. We're going to do a documentary on Michelle's penis. And we're going to name it Trump Felix. Deal's done. It's done. He'll get him some tariff money. He'll have the Canadians making him films for free. He will bomb Disney.
Yes.
We're going to tariff Disney. Trump Flicks is the new thing. You got to do that, man. You got to know how to work it. They could pay me to lobby for them.
I'm just saying.
That's the whole plan.
Like, I mean, they probably didn't have to worry about it going up extra billions of dollars. They could have just said, look, this is what's going to happen, and this is what we're going to do. So I just need your approval. Just go ahead and just sign right here. And matter of fact, here's a golden pen for you to sign.
The whole new comic book series, The Orange Man.
Right. And I started laughing at myself because I'm like, man, this is actually called the Battle of the Streams.
Oh, is that what they're calling them?
No, that's
what we used to call it in the bathroom.
Right.
You write your name in the dirt. Get off me, man. You go stand over there. You ever see a dude, you're up at the urinal and they just pull up right next to you?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Man,
yeah.
Look, this ain't no Netflix movie.
Like, bro.
2 stalls down, there's no need for that.
My stand ain't that wide, bro. Like, I don't need you to, this ain't a welcome party over here.
While I'm squirreled right now, I have an incident I just forgot about that I mentally noted. I got to tell AJ about this. So we're at a wrestling thing over the weekend. One of Jessica's kids just decided to become a wrestler, and he's learning. He's still new at it. Still they wear that little single. I'm learning. It's a whole new culture to me. I don't know anything about it. All I know is these guys get balls in their face, and it doesn't look fun. So, but
that's why they say get off.
Oh yeah, they're wearing a little singlet, and they got next thing you know, this dude's teabagging you. I'm like, dude, why is that fun? Just punch him. Can't do it. It's a sport, right? It goes back to the Greeks. I get it. And I'm understanding it more, which is making it more fun to watch. But I had to take a pee break, so I go down, and this place is crawling with kids. These tournaments are huge. They go all day on a Saturday, and there's kids from all over. And a school will host it, and it's pretty impressive how they've got it all set up. So I run down to the men's room, which is, we're up in a gym, like up top. I had to walk down all these stairs, go down to the gym. Old man had to take his hourly break. So I walked in there, and there's a bunch of kids standing there on their phones at the door of the bathroom waiting. So I'm thinking, man, you never see a line in the men's room. I'll just wait out here in the hall. And I stood there, and I stood in there on their phones. None of them looked up. There's 3 guys. AJ, they're probably about 13, 14 years old, just on their phones, standing in the door of the bathroom, hanging out, inside the bathroom, scrolling. I'm going, man, is everybody taking a dump? Somebody needs to come out. Finally, a dad came out, and the 3 boys never moved. I was like, one of y'all needs to go. You know, like we're in traffic here. They never looked up. So I decided, well, heck, if they're not going to do it, I'm going to go. I pushed past them. All the urinals were empty. They weren't even in there to pee. They were just so zombied out on their phone, they were hanging out in the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
At the door, which is the international man symbol of it's all stalled up, right? We're waiting our turn. Guys hate doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Women are used to it. They take more time.
Right. Yeah.
Which is why, ladies, you don't want these transgender guys in your bathroom. I mean, anyway. So they were just hanging out by the door, and I'm like, I wanted to teach them a life lesson, but I just did my business and left. And when I left, they were still standing there.
And see, I look, man, yeah, because like guys don't do that. At least I know growing up, we don't say, hey, Leland,
let's go hang out in the bathroom.
Can you come to the bathroom?
Not at all. No.
Like, we barely even look at each other, let alone talk.
Exactly. You don't speak in there. Yeah. And to their credit, they weren't talking to each other, so I give them a pass on that.
Technically, they probably were. They just
maybe they're texting each other. They probably were talking. I just couldn't hear them. Like, why are y'all hanging out here? Is it the smell?
Right.
Is it, you just.
You want to know what a man smell like? I mean, like, I don't understand that. Because, I mean, like for us, we will have a full-fledged conversation. But as soon as that door opens, it stops.
That's right. You never say another word.
Nope. We act like we
spread
act like
out.
You don't know who this person is.
Look straight up, eyes up.
Eyes up. And then wash your hand, boom. And then once you walk back out, you resume the conversation.
You and I have done it. This show's, 16 years old?
Mm-hmm.
And for 16 years, sometimes we'll run down the hall at the same time.
Yep.
We'll be talking and laughing all the way down the hall. When as soon as we open the door of the bathroom, we don't say another word.
Nope.
Nothing to be said.
I don't know you. You don't know me.
We don't have a radio show together. We're not planning the next segment. We're not talking about the schedule of the work week. We're not making fun of colleagues who clearly need to go see a doctor.
Right.
Who left us something for the evening time in there. We just go and do our business and come back.
Yeah, and I feel
Kids
awkward
today, man.
I just feel awkward, like when someone actually wants to have a conversation with me.
I know.
Like, bro, I don't even want you. I have my shoes so they don't know it's me.
Yeah, you got to change shoes. They see you. They look. If they're looking at your shoes, I mean, first time I ever heard a woman do that, she was like, "Well," she said something about a woman. I said, "Well, how did you know who it was?" I noticed her shoes.
Yeah,
you did.
I got my feet hanging up as I'm sitting there.
Going there barefoot.
No,
never mind. Crocker Moving Services. It was good. It was good to see Eric, man. He came to the event Friday night too, and got to hang out with him for a while. What a good guy. Heck, he and Greg at the Storm Restoration took the picture with me, so I think I posted that this weekend too. That was a good time. We raised a lot of merch for the kids, and it was good to hang out with our sponsors and just fellowship a little bit. What a nice night. Greg is a solid guy, and I'm going to talk about him later. But, man, Eric has set up I really do think it's the perfect moving company because he's got the background. In fact, what's funny is this is a true story, some of Greg Nelson's sons, he's got so many kids, he had to farm them out to Crocker. He sent them over to Crocker to learn how to work hard. I'm serious. Some of Greg's sons work for Eric at his company. And so you got some fine quality young men that work hard, do things right, listen to their leadership, execute the mission. That's not a cliche. With his Marine background, Eric's the perfect guy to own a moving company. It's no nonsense. It's very efficient. They get your stuff moved. They scale their services based on what you need, not just some fixed plan of how they schedule. So if you only need 2 hours, and that's their minimum, they'll bill you for 2 hours. If you need a full day, they'll do a full day. They've got the full range of services from weird stuff and obstacles and big, heavy things to cross-country moves to just something small. Whatever it is that you need to get done, let the pros handle it. It's CrockerMovingServices.com, CrockerMovingServices.com. 524 Leland Live Talk 99.5 Alabama Bass bringing you the show tonight, y'all. This is the place to get that tub shower combo if you got one of those in your house. And a lot of people do, especially if it's an older home. That's just how they made bathrooms back in the day. Those things are dangerous and slippery. And for some of you, when you're starting to lose mobility or age a little bit or going through some difficulties, it's hard to get in and out of there. It's a little sketchy to step up and over. Alabama Baths for decades has specialized in improving bathrooms, and they'll do the big old projects and do your whole bathroom if you want. But one of the quickest fixes to give you your life back and give you your security back is to get this tub shower combo expunged. Let them come tear it out down to the studs, replace it with their system. This does not look like some kind of orthopedic or hospital type system, even though it does include shelving and handles and things that are ergonomically designed. But these are beautiful, beautiful glass, sort of almost floor to ceiling framing, a lot of options on the colors and styles, slip-proof surfaces, and that really feels good to know you're not going to slip around in there. It's a dangerous place. A lot of falls happen, and it can happen to anybody. Any of us are capable of falling in there. It's Alabama Bass. Let them do that replacement for you. They're going to beat the big corporate competitors on price. They're going to definitely beat them on service because this is a no-pressure company. They give you a quote. They'll honor that quote for a long period of time. None of these tactics of making you decide right now or they're going to walk. That's just, you're not buying a car. You're buying a piece of your home that could give you your life back. And they get that. And that's why they've been in business for so long and people respect Mike and Jill and Sandra and John and Dewey and all those guys that come out and do the work for you. One day I'm going to get a whole list and start calling names. They've got a huge company full of great people. They're installers, just good folks. Y'all reach out to them, and for a limited time, we've been running this promotion since right before Thanksgiving. They'll throw in a free seat. That is a $1,000 add-on. If you do go out and do that as a standalone, it's a $1,000 add-on. These are fixed where they can fix the seat in there. Some people want to sit down for a minute, or the foldable kind, so you can move it out of the way if you don't need it. They're going to do that for free for you if you order between now and the end of the year. And the code is, drop my name. It's Leland. It's just say my name. You don't even have to spell it right. Just tell them I sent you, and they're going to add that to your purchase. How cool. Alabama Bass, they're down in Pelham. If you want to go take a look and watch or take a look at one of the build-outs. They built one of these out so you could really stand in it and sit on it and take a look at it and see what they can do in your home. It's alabamabass.com, alabamabass.com. All right, let's go back through some other headlines today because it turned into a pretty busy news day all along. Right now, it looks like we're going back at it with, this just in too. You know, I was just talking about earthquakes, and Japan had a big one today and then a follow-on 6.7. Apparently, the Bay Area just got an earthquake. Not a big one. It's a 2.9, but I was just talking about this, that it just seems to me in my gut with all this southern sort of Pacific Rim activity that the West Coast feels like it's overdue. You know what's funny is I traveled out there one time. I wanted to go see the famous San Andreas Fault. Mm-hmm. And so I followed all these signs and went where they told me to go. I thought it was going to be this big crack in the ground.
Yeah, no.
Where they're it was nothing. Like the forest ranger guy said, well, you see that fence post? And you see how the other fence post is a little bit higher than that one? That's exactly where it is. Like it was literally like a foot difference between two fence posts where one side was a little higher than the other. I was like,
oh.
Are you serious, man?
Because I mean, obviously Hollywood would be, make it all dramatic and stuff.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's like it looks like the Grand Canyon.
Oh yeah, there may be some spots maybe where you could see it, but the spot I chose that day looked like a little hill. I was like, I want my money back. I was like, it didn't cost anything, sir. This is a national park. Fine. Monster Liner bringing you the show tonight too. MONSTALINER. Monsterliner.com. If you got a paint project you're ready to tackle, we're going to get some nice weather here for several days. Sun's coming back tomorrow. Hallelujah. Let Monster Liner provide you the paint you need to get that project done, whether it's an automobile or old truck or utility trailer, something like that on your property. This will help you knock that rust off, protect it, give it some attitude, and you can do it yourself with this unique product, this durable, wonderful do-it-yourself product made right here in Alabama. Monster Liner, MONSTALINER, monsterliner.com. It's 5:35, Leland Live. Let's go, let's go. My man Thomas is all tied up over at Stockton Mortgage. These guys are busy helping people wrap up the end of the year. A lot of people will make some of their mortgage moves at the end of the year. There's some tax advantages to going ahead and taking advantage of some of the moves you can make to be able to write things off and this and that. Look, talk to your tax prep person or reach out to Stockton to go ahead and get moving. You still got time in the year to lock in. It's only the 8th, and so we've got several days left in the year on some of these product lines, especially home equity lines of credit. They can do them in as little as 5 to 10 days in some cases if everything works well. And then you can free up some cash so you're not digging into your credit cards and getting those super high interest rates and getting locked into that for your Christmas. Go ahead and make Christmas good for everybody, but don't do it. Do it at a much cheaper interest rate, and that's better money management. Y'all, it is, of course, Stockton Mortgage. They set up a website just for us, and it's called SaveWithStockton.com, SaveWithStockton.com. And that's where you can reach out to them and get all the info you need, even if you're just doing some back-of-the-envelope stuff. I'm like that. I'll do my homework forever before I'll make a decision. And a lot of folks are that way, waiting to see if we're going to get another rate decrease. I think we have a board meeting on Wednesday where they'll eventually announce what the market believes is maybe another quarter point. That just means if you get on the horn tonight or tomorrow with Crocker, we can know by Wednesday what they're going to do, and then there won't be any decreases for a while. So reach on out to them again, SaveWithStockton.com, SaveWithStockton.com. Again, that site's set up just for us. They got a phone number, and y'all get to work. Get busy with it. Man, what's that look about, AJ? You were just staring at me in there.
Well, you know how sometimes you walk into a conversation, mid-conversation, and they say the most awkward thing, and you're like,
Was that me and Will talking?
No. Sometimes that happens on television.
Oh.
Right, so you can, all right, prime example, you listen to, one of your favorite streaming sites, so you listen to Leland Live, and it goes to a commercial, and it's like, get this free pill because, you have this, dysfunction type of thing, right? So I was looking at watching you, do your spot, and I just so happened to look up at the most awkward time, and I saw a bunch of dudes running in Speedos, and I was like,
on the TV monitor?
Yeah.
I didn't see any in the building. So
No, it was a news hit, and they were talking about the Speedo run up in New York City.
The
and I was
Speedo
like,
run.
Yeah, and I was like, all I see is hairy chest and
the hell is
Speedos.
The Speedo run? They strip down and run in the cold just to show
in their Speedos.
Like, look, I'm tough. I'm in my Speedo.
Yeah. So that's what that look was.
Most guys built like us. If we wore a Speedo, you couldn't even tell we had it on. So these are little skinny beta males running out there getting their exercise.
Excuse me, sir. Can you please put some clothes on?
What
Let me
kind of
lift up this
homo
roll.
Who comes up with Speedo run? What grown-ass man goes, you know what'd be fun? No, dog. No, dog.
And then you got other people there to agree with you and be like, yes, I would love to be a part of this.
Yeah, it's like I wouldn't want to hang out with a bunch of guys in Speedos even if we weren't running, and I'm not a runner. It's like that nude bicycle thing. Who came up with that? You remember that thing? Is it out West Coast? They ride butt-naked bicycles.
Yes.
And do they get together when that's over and burn all the bicycle seats? And as we told you years ago when we first heard about this, some of them were on rental bikes. There was a video of it.
They didn't really actually own a bike. They just rented.
Oh, why would you use your own bike if you're going to rub your naked butthole on it for 2 or 3 hours? Rent it. The lesson there being, don't rent a bike in San Francisco.
Man, why this bike seat so glossy? All this baby oil on it. Where's Diddy at?
Where's this bike been? That's gross. This sounds like the Andrew McCain show right now.
Okay. Now, hey.
We've lost our minds.
We did.
It's the Christmas holidays, and we're starting to dial it back just a little bit.
Well, you mentioned it at the beginning of the show about kind of like willing it in,
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to because I got to save my energy. There's just not as much news happening. It's been a busy day.
Yeah.
Jasmine Crockett, I made fun of that about as much as I could.
And I got to get all my one-liners out because I'm starting to lose my voice. Because I feel like that, the chest cold.
You started feeling the crud.
Yeah.
I mean, it's how they say it. It's going around. It definitely is. I mean, I had one of my boys got it. I've had it for a week and a half. She got it. I'm trying to stay away from you. That's why I'm in here. I have to come in there because they put TV cameras in there. I have to be. I got to get mine up and running so I can just keep my distance when we get the crud going. It will take our whole radio station out. It really will. It'll get in this building back when we had more people here, and we've had the whole building go down at the same time. All right, I'm just scrolling along here. Let me make sure I've covered all the ground. I don't want to miss anything. The scammer story, by the way, in Minneapolis is just growing with every other report. They are finding so much, and it all starts to make sense. Why wouldn't they? If the people in charge were going to encourage this stuff and we're skimming some of the grift, and you could get away with anything, why wouldn't you take everything? It's like these looters. You don't run in there and get a yoo-hoo. They come out with armfuls of stuff. So when the word was out, as this thing escalated, it went from understanding the fraud that some of these agencies were committing by allowing. I went through this autopsy of it earlier, so the genesis of how some of this stuff, the light bulbs started going off over a decade ago with some daycare facilities that found out they could build the state, thus the federal government, for students that weren't coming to class or didn't even exist. And then slowly they went from having 30 fake claims. In other words, they billed the federal government. Well, let's just say the state government. It's federal money passed through the state government. State's in charge of making the decisions. So they'd bill them for taking care of 30 kids or 60 kids when only 30 were actually there. And somebody realized they don't even know. They have no idea what we're actually doing. Let's bill them some more money. To be honest with you, it's what caused Health South to go belly up. We've seen this before, where if the government is going to have a loophole or bend the rules or look the other way, Health South was billing for more of the therapy services than they were providing one-to-one. They were billing for whole classes of people, getting around the rules. And then that built on itself. That required some money, fake books and double sets of books, and to hide from regulators. And then it just goes from there. That's a simplistic way to look at it. So what I'm saying is we've seen it on the corporate scale before, where a corporation finds a way to get federal funds in by compliance. Another way that people get around the system, you'll have sometimes requirements that you have minority participation in a grant. Well, the company just goes out and hires a figurehead for the operation so they can qualify for the grant. Everybody's wins because the figurehead guy gets paid. The company's still the same company. It doesn't improve conditions for, say, the purpose of that would be to have money go to some workers from the black community or whatever. They don't get the money. White man corporate gets the money using a front. So we've seen scams like this against the government all the time. There's so much money flowing out there. The defense industry's replete with scam deals like this, money for nothing deals, padded figures, all these things. That whole movie, you remember, did you ever see that? Was it called War Dogs? The movie with, who's the chubby guy that's not chubby anymore?
Oh, yeah, with the gun.
They were gun running.
Yeah.
That's what that was about. It was just running a scam on the government for procurement scams, and it was based on a true story. So all the way back to the Somali stuff. So here's a state level corruption that started small, something around the edges that would be hard to prove or to detect, to a massive operation. And I went through the autopsy earlier, where what they do is they'll get the way the sequence goes. You got a new arrival from Somalia. They come in and get taught what the game is, and immediately they move to the state of Minnesota and set up an LLC with the Secretary of State's office. Call it a nonprofit. Okay, so far so good. Then they run and immediately sign up to be on the food program. This is just one example of some of the stuff that was going on there that's been caught. By the way, in the billions of dollars this went on, because you wonder why was it so big, because it was years of it. It's not just Tim Walz, it's other people that were looking the other way. So you sign up for the food program with your nonprofit. I'm going to feed the hungry. Leland and AJ's feed the hungry, whatever that was. The mayor of Minneapolis was eating the other day. We're going to feed that to everybody. The beans and goat intestines, whatever he was eating that made him want to puke. And so they're going to, and then they start, one of them, in one case, this person applied as a nonprofit, new arrival to the country, applied as a nonprofit, got his status. The minute he was approved for the food program where they were doling money out, started billing for 5,000 children a day. They were feeding 5,000 children a day. And if you looked at the numbers on that sheet, you'd go, man, this is a great organization. Can we give them some more money? They're feeding 5,000 children a day. Truth is, none of the kids existed. Well, how did they do that? They used computer spreadsheets that they populated with these name generation sort of AI programs. Where nowadays, technology is amazing. You could fill out a spreadsheet if you know what you're doing, and it could give you 5,000 fake names, identities, addresses, everything you need to create a 5,000 person fake profile to turn in. There were some entries on some of these sheets that said, you know what the person's name was, AJ? It was no and name. No was the first name. Name was the last name. It was a line on a sheet. Money. And then they just bill the government. They never even, nobody with the government even checked to go say, let's go down and watch them feed the kids today. Let's see if they're actually buying food. So part of the scam would be at least they'd have to go out and purchase some turkey dinners and resell those on the side or something if they're not going to feed any kids with it. They never even bought anything. It was 100% pass through. And that's one example of the anatomy of how they were pulling this stuff off. And now they've traced the money all the way back to the politicians. I think people are going to go to jail for this. And I said this at the beginning of the show. And I know y'all have heard that before, and we never really see it. But it's one thing to be pissed off at the Somalis who came here and took advantage. But in some ways, it's like the other countries that take advantage of our trade deals and any opening that we give them. You almost expect that to happen. You almost can't blame them. They're coming from a war-torn tribal region where there's not much prospect. And here people are just handing you checks if you'll fill out. If you'll take your computer and create some fake names, you can get a lot of money. Boom. But it's the politicians in Minnesota that were in charge of this stuff that are the outrage. It's Tim Walz and Keith Ellison and Ilhan Omar and all these people that knew it was happening, were warned it was happening. There are so many warnings online on social media, public hearings, testimony in their legislature, whistleblowers that would come forward and rat this stuff out about how family services were getting ripped off by this new arrivals. Then they were immediately called racist or bigoted because they didn't like the new people. It's about identity stuff, not just the money. This wasn't about black or Somali. It's about green. The black citizens that live in Minneapolis are raising hell right now because they feel like these newcomers, they're not seeing it as a race issue, it's a country issue. These are Americans that just saw their programs get ripped off by these foreigners. And that's where you draw the line. It's at the corruption. So the crackdowns are happening. The roundups are happening, and I'm fine if they deport every single one of them, including Omar. But they need to get to the bottom of the politicians and put these people in a jail cell for what they have done to the taxpayers. Maybe it would make an example for other states down the road because there is clear evidence that they were clearly warned. It's several levels. It's either the negligence of not knowing, and then you got the warnings that they did know and looked the other way. That's criminal implicitly. And then you have the backdoor corruption where they were getting a skim. They may have been either through campaign contributions or directly. There are a lot of allegations, particularly with Walz, of real estate and property being given to or donated to him. His portfolio suddenly gets big. And that's why all of a sudden you see a program meant for, say, rent subsidies go from a $2 million a year program to $100 million a year. It's not just the demand load of bringing all these people in from another country. It was his corruption. It's like, hey, if I'm getting 3% of a $100 million program is a lot more money. Y'all do the math. That's how that stuff always happens. Douglas Cooling and Heating bringing you the show tonight. Man, we do have, even though we're not getting into teens, we've got a sure enough cold snap coming Saturday night. Y'all need to get ready for it. And the way to do that is to reach out to Douglas and let them come take a look. If you need some prep work, if you haven't had your tune-up done, some of you will run into a situation where your system's just not keeping up and you're freezing and your bill's going crazy. It's because your system's dying or is about to die and you need to get it worked on. They'll come and tune you up. If it needs a replacement, they're just the best in the business at new installs, replacement systems, emergency work, plumbing. They got a whole plumbing line in their business as well. Y'all can trust them because I have for 16 years, multiple different properties over time in whole different situations. Every one of those scenarios, including a mini split install, they can handle all of it for you. This is my company that I trust to send to your house. License number 2017181. Call Douglas.com. Call Douglas.com. All right, we're going to wrap this Monday up. Let's do some couple more sponsors here before we get out of here. Birmingham Broker bringing you the show. If you're getting ready to do a car trade here at the end of the year and you've got one to trade or sell, Don't just go hand it over wholesale. That's just not smart math. And you don't have to go through the indignity of trying to sell it yourself. I don't like haggling anyway, and I don't want to meet some moron in a parking lot to try to talk me down on my car. It's such a waste of time. Just turn it down, take it down to Birmingham Broker and turn it into them. The only downside is you do need to be without that ride for a few days because they need to take custody of it and be able to market it and get it transacted. But Craig and Keith and his team have saved our audience thousands, probably hundreds over the years of people in the audience that have done trades with them. Man, I've done 3 or 4 myself, me and my family, over the years with Craig. And every single time we can trace thousands of dollars that it saved us. Birmingham Broker, bhambroker.com. Downtown Birmingham, 4th Avenue South, not far from Iron City, bhambroker.com. AJ, I swear I hear a wolf or a coyote or a quail or something outside. It's either in the parking lot or in the lobby.
Oh Lord! I mean, there is a wolf statue out in the lobby.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
But I think I hear it may be out in the woods because we got coyotes that run around.
Oh yeah, I know. I thought it was a dog at once. I was like, oh look, there's a dog. Whose dog is that?
Don't pet that one.
Yeah.
No sir. All right, yeah, we got that. Okay, now Jasmine Crockett did hold. I was watching some of this during the break. She did hold sort of a full-fledged announcement rally and showed that video that we played for you earlier. Quick take on that. She's jumping, by the way, just tuning in, she's jumping in the Senate race out in Texas after having built her brand around, all this jive talk and getting attention for herself. And I thought, okay, she's going to moderate her tone, pivot a little bit, start appealing to people. Now, I understand she's got to win her base first. She's got to win the Democrat Party, and there will be others to get in the race. But I'm sitting here looking at what she's saying, some of these quotes, and to be fair to her, I didn't hear the whole speech, don't know the context. But I think if she's making a tactical error right now, she's just talking about herself. I don't see any of these quotes where she's telling the people of Texas what she's going to do or what her policies are or how she'll help them with this or that. She's basically saying, Trump picks on me and I need this job. One of the quotes is, what we need is for me to have a bigger voice because I'm Jasmine Crockett. And I don't know, Democrats think differently than I do. I can't put myself, I used to be able to sort of put their hat on and see the world the way their voters think pretty well, but things have gotten so extreme and crazy right now. The way they choose to select people probably isn't logical at all. So it probably doesn't help for me to try to analyze it. But if I'm just a regular voter and I've got options, I kind of want my candidate to tell me what good is it for me and my family and my state if you're elected? That's the most basic thing in the world. I used to have to teach candidates 2 things. Tell them why they should vote for you, and why you want to run, why you're in the office to begin with, and ask them for their vote. Just the humble things like that. And maybe she said some of that in her speech, and that doesn't get the flamboyant quotes and all that stuff. But this whole me, look at me, Trump hates me, thinks I'm ignorant, I'm a victim, I'm a star, I'm a celebrity, I need a job. I don't know that that's going to wear too well if she draws an articulate opponent that just looks out for the interests of the voters. I think it'd be smart if people went back to that. Ox Foundation Solutions, last sponsor here on the show tonight. We talk about all their levels of services all the time, from water removal, house leveling, crack shifts, any of these things, mold removal, especially in the summertime. One of their services is encapsulation if you have a crawl space. There's an advantage to that in this cold weather, too. It's not just a moisture barrier, and I had to kind of be taught this by the folks at Ox. I wouldn't have thought about it this way, but it's also a thermal barrier, which means it's going to make your house more comfortable, keeping that cold, drafty air out in the wintertime and, I guess, heat in the summertime, protecting your pipes and all that during wintertime weather. Many, many advantages to encapsulation. And I can't think of a company in the world that's any better than our good friends over at Ox. So consider that, even if you don't have a foundation problem, but you do have a crawl space, might be time to get that encapsulation done to protect your home too. It's oxstrong.com, oxstrong.com. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
All right. Stay tuned for Breaking Bread coming up next. Goodbye, AJ.